a vibe. It's a vibe. Welcome to the Nocturnal Nerdcast, everyone. Everybody's up late, or at least the people that are here. A couple shout outs, and then we're going to bring on our panel for the evening. Fetman Plays, good to see you. South Texas Shark, Team Eric member, thank you so much for being here. We have Screwface Capone, Jordan, and Jose are in the house. Whoa. Hey, guys. Defunct. Oh, wait. Before we get started. Hey, guys. Defunct is stuck in the hospital. I had to go to ED yesterday. Now waiting surgery next week. They think, wish me luck, thanks for entertainment. I need it today. Oh, well, sorry to hear that, but glad you're here with us, and I hope it's nothing. I mean, it's surgery, so I guess it is somewhat serious, but whatever it is, good energy, good vibes going your way. Thank you for being here. We have a lot to talk about tonight, but let's bring on our panel for the evening. In the form of Robert Storms, we have the West Virginia DJ here.
West Virginian.
Yeah.
So you know how to pronounce that, Eric.
It doesn't matter. I don't look.
Well, you're from West Virginia. You're a DJ.
Like but you know who does look like him? 3Dub. 3Dub is here.
Well, to be fair, you all look alike.
That's true. That is true.
It could be lost triplets.
This week we have a
heavily
guest from,
delayed births between each other.
Oh, you mean like something like a Star Wars birth where people just
I don't know. Or one's in an egg and the egg has to gestate for a while or something.
We have a special guest tonight from the Showcast podcast, which is Bob. Organized Chaos is here.
Actually off work tomorrow, so it's nice to actually catch one of these.
Well, glad to have you here. We have a bunch of stuff to talk about tonight, but first I want to ask everyone, how was your week? Did everybody have a good week so far? We're at the end of the week. Is everybody enjoying this what is it, the first week in September? No, it's the second week. What am I thinking here? I'm so far behind. It's through the second week of September.
Let's go back in time.
Yeah, it is.
More fun then.
You know, it feels like everything's running by
Time
quickly
blurs together.
now. The summer went slow for me, and now it feels like the fall is like speeding ahead. I don't know what it is. For me, the summer, I felt like this was one of the longest summers I've had in a while, and that includes all the COVID stuff that we had to deal with. But the weather here has been really nice. I've seen so we're heading into our colder months, and Pagey in Australia is heading into his warmer months because they're in the reverse world. They're in the mirror dimension.
Okay, well, hold on. How do we know that you're not in the reverse world of me? How do we know that I'm the reverse? You might be
because you're in Tasmania. And
I'm not in Tasmania. I am not incestual, so that is not where
Oh no! Like disavow all of it.
You're the one that said it, not me.
No, you said it. I just brought it up.
You claimed it. I explained.
McLeod's here. Good to see you, McLeod. And Anthony Beltree's in the house. Good to see you. All right, let's go ahead and jump into some hot topics for tonight. First, I want to start out with a clarification, and that's the story that we talked about earlier this week about the Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse film getting scrapped. And this came from the N. Snyder. And I thought it was interesting because I've mentioned before when we've talked about that particular source that it's not very trustworthy. And so,
yeah, spotty track record.
Yeah. And so Chris Miller, as you know, behind the actual film, jumps in and says, the reports of Beyond the Spider-Verse being scrapped, says nothing's been scrapped. These reels are coming along nicely. So literally James Gunning it, jumping in and debunking this on social media. I want to say this is what I love about people that have almost complete control over their projects. They can literally just jump on and be like, look, like there's no reason for them to pretend or hide or whatever, because I know a lot of the studios, like you look at especially like Lucas, you know, and Marvel and stuff, they don't want to tell anybody anything, and so these rumors come out, they run rampant, and then it ruins projects. That's the issue. I feel like the whole idea that you remember back during WandaVision, the rumor about Mephisto and every other rumor under the sun started, and that kind of went into this effect where every project that came after that in Marvel was getting, like every rumor was getting huge traction because they don't debunk anything, because I think Marvel or Disney in general thinks that debunking something ruins, I guess, fans interacting with the project or something. Maybe that's what it is. What do you guys think it is with these, like the scoopers? Do you think that the studios just don't want to get involved with it, or why do they sometimes not say anything at all?
I think like that.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say. I mean, I feel like there's a get some social media interaction going on, some back and forth. I do feel like there's some of that going on, but there's been some like egregious rumors that like they will let just go, probably just because they're used to it at this point. And I think, they need to start like looking at it case by case basis and being a bit more careful about it.
Yeah. What are you going to say, 3Dub?
I was going to say, like, any kind of publicity helps the movie. So it's.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true.
They could cast Ezra Miller, and then they could test that.
That's what I'm saying. Like we've seen it. We've seen it backfire. Yeah, we've seen it backfire before. I think that's the way it used to be. The idea that all press is good press. I think that there was a period in time when that was the case because you didn't have, like, if you look back at the era of like the 70s, 80s, even some of the 90s. People didn't have the same outlets they have now where they can just take a story and make it up and it becomes news. And I think that's kind of why it's a problem now is that any person, like I could change my name to I burn toast and put spaghetti on it. That's my new Twitter handle. And then pretend like I'm a scooper and come up with a million different things that are happening. And then these outlets will pick it up and run with it because they don't know whether it's true or false. And honestly, it doesn't even matter. I mean, we have the epidemic of AI trailers on YouTube right now. I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but these AI trailers that are awful, that are just getting millions of views on YouTube and nothing's being done about it. And this is the weird thing. And Bob, you know this, and Paige, you know this. I don't 3Dub if you've had to deal with it because I know you do edits, but if you're making content that is like your own content, you have to now mark it whether it's AI or not when you're going through the upload. You don't have to, but you're supposed to. And the fact that they're getting away with it means that YouTube isn't really enforcing this like anti-AI stance that they seem to have, because if that were the case, those trailers wouldn't have millions of views.
I also have to watch and make sure I don't put any like kids in film. Like there's a scene with.
You definitely.
Cut
you have to be careful with that.
No, remember that issue I had when I was doing Stargirl videos, and they kept getting, like, the comments kept getting blocked or something like that.
Because they thought it was a child. You were doing a children's content.
Stargirl, and I guess that I don't know why, but then like if you did Supergirl, it wouldn't. It was shit, and that's what YouTube's AI system, ironically.
But then they allow like racist stuff to be everywhere on the website. But
I still have to laugh. One of my edits was too colorful, so they automatically put it as kids when it's really not.
Really? That was the reason why? That's crazy.
It was too colorful.
Well, I'll tell you why, like, the thing, like, you're talking about, like, like, the bad news, or any news is good news, or any publicity is good publicity. It's also because people can just go, well, I'm not going to watch that in theaters. Stuff this movie. I'll watch it for free. I'll pirate it in 3 months or something like that. Or 1 month if it completely bombs, and I can do that. But back in the day, 70s, 80s, 90s, even early 2000s, or maybe not early 2000s, but like a movie would, if you miss it in theaters, have fun waiting a year until it's on VHS or DVD.
I did notice, what was it that dropped out of theaters recently and almost went like basically direct to streaming? What was it that just happened?
Twisters did.
Borderlands.
That's Borderlands. Yeah. Borderlands was in the theaters for 2 weeks and they were like, oh, it's going to streaming.
Yeah. No, it wasn't even 2 weeks, wasn't it? Wasn't it a week and a half? Oh no, it was a week and a half and they announced it.
I think it was
insanely short.
Yeah, so we were sitting around. We do like a movie night once a week with friends, and they came over and we're going through movies trying to figure out what we're going to watch. And I saw Borderlands in there for like $20, and I'm like, already? Literally already? Like, give me Alien Romulus. I'll pay to watch Alien Romulus.
Yeah, I was going to say they had the nerve to charge $20.
there's some interesting pricing on that for sure. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about is updates on the Constantine movie. Any Constantine fans in the chat? Anybody here?
Crickets.
I love Matt Ryan's version. I love
Matt that's Ryan true. Too. Matt Ryan is the best one. Yeah, that's the thing that annoys me. Matt Ryan's Constantine was like probably the perfect casting in my opinion.
Yes,
but it didn't, like, what was it on NBC? Was that the network that the show was on?
Yeah, NBC. Then it went on Arrow. Then he went on Legends.
Yeah. So the thing was, I liked the NBC show, right? I thought it was really good, but NBC, like, it seems like the networks don't like superhero stuff because they got rid of Constantine, they got rid of Supergirl. They don't like, the big networks don't like that kind of stuff anymore. I guess the only one that really survived was the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That went on for a while, obviously because of being connected to Disney. Maybe that's what helped it. I don't know. But Matt Ryan's Constantine going to the Arrowverse was perfect because we got to see the finishing of that story. But then, man, did they fuck that up in Legends towards the end of the series. Like, they really fucked that character over on Legends of Tomorrow. And the thing was, they didn't even really know how to make him work in Legends because he worked better on Arrow. But in Legends, it's like they tried it was a really difficult thing to give him a story that worked with the rest of the characters because he didn't really blend in with those particular characters. And so it felt like Constantine's show inside the Legends of Tomorrow show, which I thought was a little strange.
I honestly felt like if with Arrow, you know how the backstory is on the island, he can meet like all the entire Justice League and we wouldn't know.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I could have seen Wonder Woman.
So here's the reports, and this is from like official sources. This isn't one of those like scoopers or whatever, but it says Constantine 2 producer says the script is finished. Okay. It's further along than Blade. Keanu Reeves and the director Francis Lawrence are returning. Okay. It's going to be very R-rated. Now, I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with the first movie, but it's not a constant. Like, you could make this character someone else and it would still play out the same way. It doesn't really require Constantine because there's so many things that did get changed. But I'll say this. I think that this sequel will do better, particularly because of Keanu Reeves.
Was the first one rated R?
You know what? That's a good question. I don't know.
I think I can't say for certain. It's been I haven't seen that since it was out in theaters.
Let's see. Let's see what it says here.
It's been a moment.
No, PG. Oh no, it was meant to be PG-13, but then the ratings board gave it an R rating because of its
So
apparently it was due to its religious things.
So
Soft R.
This movie, the original movie, was 70 to 100 million production costs, but it only made 230 million in the theaters, which means that it just got a little bit more than double what it cost on the top end. So I think financially, again, we don't know 100%, but if I were sort of guessing there, I would say financially that's probably a lot less than what they actually wanted it to make. Obviously,
you got to remember that this was mid 2000s where it still would have gone to Blockbuster and everything and
right. But I mean theatrical release. That's what I'm saying. It made double, just over double what it cost.
So like overall, the movie probably would have been pretty profitable.
I honestly wonder if because there's a big time gap between the films that it will surpass the original. Like Beetlejuice.
I don't know. I have no idea. I do know that I think Keanu Reeves' star power is different now than it was back then. So,
I think his star power. I don't know, because that's the thing. So John Wick movies are very popular, but they're not like huge blockbusters. They're successful for sure.
They're great watches.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this performs.
I do believe that they were trying to do something with this based off of the success of the Matrix movies. That first Constantine, it didn't translate well. I think that was the initial plan. And so, I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited for the movie only because I want to see what they do with it. And I didn't absolutely hate the first one, but I'm not I'm not clawing at the side of the wall waiting for the next installment.
It'll be funny.
I would have to rewatch it to give you an opinion. It's been too long.
It would be funny if he comes back with a Matt Ryan accent.
Oh no.
He can try.
We talked about this a couple weeks ago about like our thoughts on who should stay Wolverine in the MCU, and I said that I think Laura would be a good continuation with Logan as a mentor. And this report here from Daniel RPK, another scooper, again, these are not 100% confirmed, so take this with a grain of salt. The Marvel Studios X-Men reboot film will reportedly not include Wolverine. And if that is true, that would tell me that they're going with like the OG5. They're going to start out with the OG5. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, personally. I think the X-Men got much better in the 70s when they did their relaunch. But maybe they're going to start with the OG5. I don't know why they would do that, but it seems like that might be the case.
Maybe just to differentiate themselves from Fox. I could see doing that. Although, I mean, I don't know. I'd love to see Storm, but
if the second part, like Hugh Jackman will continue to play the role, what if the original 5 decides to recruit him? from Deadpool and Wolverine.
I mean, they could, but what this tells me is they're probably not thinking about doing anything with like the all new, all different Uncanny X-Men situation from the 70s, unless they're going to do it like 5 years down the road. Because the reality is, the first 5 X-Men, is as much as people love them now, the original run was not successful. They ended up canceling the series because it didn't work. It felt like a knockoff Fantastic Four with less interesting characters. And then they brought them back in the 70s with the reboot, where it became a much more diverse team that represented more parts of the world and the characters. And so they became much more interesting because you had people together from different walks of lives, and that made it more interesting. I think relaunching it with the OG5 might not work. Maybe it will, but here's the deal. If they do that, are they going to keep it? Is the fidelity going to be the same? Is it going to be just the 5 characters as they were in the comics? Or are we going to see some race changes, some gender changes, some fundamental changes to the characters to make them more interesting? That's the only thing I can wonder if that's what they're going to do.
I think that they potentially might go down the road
they have other characters.
Oh, Bob, are you lagging a little bit?
I'm just saying they have other characters they could pull. Oh, I hope not.
Okay.
No, I was just going to say, like, I think they could go down the route where they tried it and they had, like, I thought obviously one of the movies didn't even have them, but one of the movies was like okay for like half of it, and then it shits the bed. But if you think about like Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix, they don't have Wolverine in them. But Wolverine not being there isn't the problem with those movies.
I have a question though. This is like it's a segue, but also not. It's related. What is if you don't have access to like X-Men, Fantastic Four, all these other teams? Are they just bands in 616? Because Doctor Strange, like he. Didn't you guys chart in the 60s?
I
think that was just a joke.
Yeah, I think that might have been an Easter egg joke. But the thing about it is that I think that I don't want to spoil too much, but I guess I kind of have to with this one. So the thing is, with the Doomsday / Secret Wars movie, I think the goal is to consolidate all of the different universes into one to create a new world. So I think what we might see, depending on how this goes, is that these characters, these X-Men that we meet, will come from another Earth in the multiverse and be brought over into the main continuity, but it'll be done in a way where the only people that remember that being different will be the characters that were on Battleworld during Secret Wars.
So like they're the Paradox.
The public will think they've always been there. Yeah. The public will just in history, according to like where the worlds are when they merge together, the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and the Avengers have always existed together on the same planet. But the characters will know different, unless they decide to give them like an amnesia thing or something like that in the storyline, which is possible.
So you're saying they'll do a comic book thing?
Yes. Probably.
Yeah. No reality stuff.
But furthermore, though, how do we feel about this idea that Logan will continue to be Wolverine? I know the chat said they did not want that to happen. How do we all feel about that here?
I mean,
or Hugh Jackman being Wolverine, sorry.
Deadpool called it. They're going to make you do Wolverine till you're 90.
Yeah.
Well, I think Daphne Keane has done a good job so far, and I would love to see her kind of take over that spot in the X-Men in the MCU, at least for a little bit.
I 100% agree with that.
I think proper I think a good transition is to have this Wolverine from Deadpool to bring Laura in and then trade off.
But Laura's here right now. She said she would drop in and say hi. What's up, Laura? How are you doing?
You're
Good
funny.
to see you. All right, we're going to get through these next 3 tabs, and then we're going to do super chats. Guys, if you have some more super chats, feel free to drop them. We'll do those before we get into the next to the big stories. The next one here, this is from the N. Snyder. Jared Leto has reportedly been offered the role of Skeletor in the Masters of the Universe live-action film. How to kill your film in 5 seconds.
I am so burnt out on Jared Leto. Jesus.
Is he box office kryptonite now? Is that what we're going to call him at this point?
Oh, no, Tron will prove that. But, I watched, like, I think it was, like, 3 weeks ago or something. I was, like, not doing anything. I was like, fuck, I need to put something on TV. I need to watch something. and I went through Disney Plus, and I went, oh, I didn't watch this. I like the Eddie Murphy version. I put on the Haunted Mansion. He's the villain. He's in like one scene.
Oh,
What's
Jared
his
Leto
deal
is?
with being villains?
I think it's because he does that. So a lot of times you'll hear these method actors cast as villains because they can get into the role. Apparently, that's kind of why it happens. It's
Weird though. You see a photo, I'm like, is that Jared Leto? And it's like 2/3 into the way into the movie, and then you get like a flashback scene with him before he gets killed or whatever it is. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Spoiler, but who cares? That movie came out ages ago.
I'm
and
not
then
gonna lie.
And then it's like this giant skeleton head thing, and I think he might be doing the voice, but he's in like one scene. It's incredibly weird.
Listen, I've never met Jared Leto. I don't know anything about him other than what I've read. I know they say he's a method actor, but what I've read, I don't know, he sounds like an asshole to me.
He should dial
That's what I've heard
back.
too. I've actually met him before, but
I've been within like 50 meters of him. I went to a 30 Seconds to Mars like pop-up concert.
that's
thing
when
in
I met
Sydney.
him. Was at a 30 Second to Mars concert.
Yeah.
And did a signing afterwards.
From what I've seen on like Suicide Squad, he should dial it back to where he doesn't freak out his cast members.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sending them. What was it like? He was sending them dildos or something. It was something.
Yeah,
weird.
it
Sending
was
him
something
like
gross,
Joker
yeah.
gifts, basically
Yeah.
Joker gifts.
I don't know how this movie is going to go because I remember the original live action Master of the Universe movie with Dolph Lundgren.
I enjoy that movie no matter how bad it is.
I think it's a nice way to like look at what happens when you just say fuck the source material, which I think is quite
Yes.
interesting. But I will say, if you have not watched it yet, the rebooted Masters of the Universe animated stuff on Netflix is really fucking good. The 2 seasons of it that I've seen so far are really good. I really enjoyed it. I think it's probably the best He-Man / Masters of the Universe stuff that I've ever seen personally.
I
So
forgot he sent a snake.
a snake? Oh, geez.
Yeah.
A snake? What do you mean? Oh, he
He's-
sent a snake.
In a box to one of them, yeah.
It's not normal.
No. Next up, Amazon plans to go ahead, Paigey, go ahead.
I won't. You'll get the stream demonetized.
Oh, geez, don't do that. Amazon still plans to develop 5 seasons of The Rings of Power, despite all the chuds saying that it's like the worst show ever.
I haven't watched. It came out like the
Good.
new episode came out like yesterday evening, and I was like, oh, I won't watch it. I'll watch it. I'll probably watch it after this, to be completely honest. Yeah, I think this season's getting better by the episode, and is obviously it's not done, so I don't know if it's overall better than season 1. But I think the show, like considering the show, because I thought the show had the rights to the Silmarillion, it doesn't. It doesn't have the rights. I thought
So
it did.
why is that though? Why is there a reason behind that? Or
They can like
what?
use it, but they can't specifically do exactly how the Silmarillion lays things out or something. I was watching like this like guy on YouTube on TikTok, sorry, who does like this thing because it was something that they were in the show. And it's like, what is this?
Well, that was your
fucking mean?
first mistake. You were on TikTok. Like,
Well, no, because this guy actually had half a brain, so he went
Okay.
against about 99% of TikTokers. But he was like, yeah, they don't have the rights to the Silmarillion or something like that, and I was like, oh, but then they can't use the books either. So it's like, I mean, the fact that they can craft the story around it and get around some of those legal things, though, I think they can still use the stuff from the book. They just can't use it as it lays, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like specific things. That's why they condense it.
I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's like hitting everything for me. It's not the greatest show I've ever watched, but to act like it's awful TV is also a big stretch. I think it's a pretty solid series.
Yeah.
Also,
I think
Yeah.
this season's better than House of Dragon.
I agree.
Also,
agree
I
with that.
think the CGI is better. Like, not like.
Oh, it
like-
looks
Yeah, no.
great.
Yeah,
It looks amazing.
Visually, Rings of Power is amazing looking. know
I
they
will
like
say one thing.
judge
I am
no
annoyed
about it, but
I am annoyed they moved from New Zealand. They filmed, and you can sort of tell that some of the stuff is like not real, if that makes sense. Well, in season 1, they were actually in New Zealand filming, I guess, where the movie's filmed. But I think they moved to the UK and different parts of Europe and stuff to film season 2.
Bob, are you caught up? Did you watch this week's episode?
I have not seen this week's episode.
Okay.
I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, I watched it earlier
I've
today.
seen the first 3.
Okay. I think it looks great though. I think the visuals are great. I like the characters. I think that there's a drought right now of stuff to hate. So this show is just the default. Like, we need to talk shit about the show. But I'm glad it's gonna get 5 seasons. I'm
Disney
really
hasn't
excited
pushed
for this
anything
show.
out. Let's go to Amazon.
Yeah, well, it's gonna
I
be
mean,
even
there's
worse
very
because
few shows.
Yeah,
I'm
go ahead,
just
Bob.
there's very few shows that actually have kind of like a dedicated, hey, we're going to do X amount of seasons, and so much stuff just gets threatened to get canceled after 1 year. It's nice to have something set up.
I think that the positive to this is that they are letting us know, hey, you can get invested in this because we're going to give you more episodes, and
Absolutely.
that's a good thing. I will say though that sorry, 3Dub, go ahead.
I also think like Amazon's more trustworthy than like Netflix, for example, because they're very, very hard to renew.
Yeah. Well, I will say that when it comes to stuff on Disney Plus, it's the Chud channels are going to have even harder time because there's going to be larger gaps between Star Wars stuff now, apparently, according to them. So we're going to see everything will get hated on, whether it's good or not, because they have to keep a revenue stream. So nothing is going to be good now. Nothing. They're not even going to give even Andor season 2 is probably up to be trashed by them at this point.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. This is one of the stories I wanted to talk about and kind of discuss. As you guys know, I don't really care too much about the overall financial status of a lot of these things, but I thought this was really interesting. So Joker 2 is tracking to earn plus 70 on its domestic box office opening weekend, but that's 26 million less than the first film. And there's been a few reviews out, and I don't think anybody I haven't seen a review saying it's awful yet, but most reviews are just kind of giving it sort of a middle of the road thing. Is this kind of what you expected from this movie? I mean, have you guys had any expectations for it?
I'll be honest, I have no expectations for this movie. I think the first one's a pretty good movie, but I think it's overrated too. It's good, but not as good as a lot of people make out to be. And I don't even know how you followed up, except maybe with a musical idea. And it's sure, why not?
Well, the issue with it is that, apparently, from what I read in some of the reviews and stuff, is that they don't really develop or progress from the first movie. And I think if you're going to do a sequel, that you have to progress. You can't just have them doing the same thing. And apparently, he's just doing the same thing, and then you just chuck.
Yeah,
what do they even call
would be
Quinn?
frustrating.
Is that what they're calling her? Quinn? They're not even calling her Harley Quinn. They're calling her Quinn or whatever it is. No, they're calling her Lee. Isn't that Lee? Lee. Okay, thanks, Eric. Cheers, Eric, for the response.
No, my cat's snoring.
Snoring?
What is that noise? Yeah, my cat's snoring.
How can you hear a cat snore?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Usually it's not that loud, but I guess it's the way he's laying. But yes, Lee is what they're calling the character. I thought that you were just double downing on that.
What's the budget of Joker 2?
I think it's a pretty high one. Is it like 200 million or something?
Decent.
Well, got caught up in the strike, didn't it?
Yeah, hold on. I think it's like 200 million.
What did they finish before that?
Now, I will say if they're just going to remake the first one in musical form, that would be annoying.
Yes. Okay. So that's true, Bob. It's a $200 million movie. They jacked the budget off the roof, so it's a $200 million R-rated movie, and they probably got that green light because the first movie made over $1 billion. So they were like, we can go and spend more. But
if it didn't make $2 billion, it made $1 billion.
That's amazing. Yeah. It was the first R-rated movie to do that.
Yeah. Do you think it will make its money back? I don't know. I'm guessing it probably will.
You but realize with a $200 million budget, that means you have to make about what, 5?
I would say
about 6.
Based on the rule of thumb, yes, you would have to make over 5 to get your money back.
I think actually it'd be 6 because they're going to promote the hell out of this, so there's just going to be a lot of money in advertising.
If you're going by the general rule of thumb, but that's not always 100%.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think with this movie, it's a little bit easier to kind of predict how much money they're going to spend because it is a major film, and we know how much they usually throw it into this movie. I would say safely for me, we're looking at 550 plus for them to feel like this was worth it.
I think it makes like 700 to 8 probably in the box office. I don't think it's going to hit $1 billion.
Okay.
Based off this, I don't think it hits $1 billion.
Well, it lost its fresh status on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's not fresh anymore.
Yeah, but the first one wasn't like this critical darling either. Like that was bordering on
pretty well.
Yeah.
No, what's it on? It was like high 60s, wasn't it, or something?
It was, but it was still above. It's almost
Oh,
70,
yeah, like it
69%.
wasn't rotten. Yeah, like it wasn't
Yeah.
rotten. But
Well,
like,
this one
that's-
isn't rotten either, but it's not. It's lost its certified fresh.
Yeah.
rating,
And that's from the
so-
people that went to the film festivals as well, which obviously
Right.
they have a stick up their ass half the time. So, like, you don't know how like someone that just does it like a YouTube channel or a TikTok or someone that has their own little
So,
blog or something like that. Rates
Craig,
it.
everybody had this reaction when the budget came out because the first movie was so cheap. And that was one of the best parts about these types of movies is they don't usually cost a lot. This is not a big budget like superhero movie. You know what I mean? Like this is a movie that you could see made on something like Netflix for a much smaller budget. I believe the budget has to do with getting Lady Gaga and all of the musical elements that go along with it. So that probably inflated the budget if I had to guess. So
Also, I think they did a lot of outdoor filming in New York, which is just like burning money, essentially.
yeah, I don't know. It's a little interesting to see what's going to happen with this. In the chat, let me know. Give a thumbs up if you're going to see this opening weekend, and give a thumbs down if you're going to wait for it to come out on streaming. Which I know a lot of people are probably going to wait for it to come out on streaming.
And give an unsub and report live stream if you, I don't know, don't like Eric's hat.
Yeah, of course not.
I never saw the first one. All I know
You never saw it even after it came out for free to watch on Max?
No.
Are you scared or something?
I did no. I just don't like Joker, and I was right to be suspicious because that's not actually Joker either. So
Yeah, it's it's an Elseworlds Joker apparently.
yeah,
Yeah.
And the only thing I did see was the stair dance. That's the only thing that drew me in. That I watched it.
I will say I watched it more recently. The talk show scene is really well done.
The thing is, the overall story is fairly weak, and the writing isn't great, but the directing and the acting is really good. Like Joaquin Phoenix deserved the Oscar that year, and I think it's weird seeing Todd Phillips. I like Todd Phillips though because I like War Dogs. I think War Dogs is really good, and then like some of his older comedy stuff is good. But I thought like some of the
War Dogs is
writing wasn't very
underrated.
good. Yeah, no one talks about that. It's good.
Happy
Ana de
birthday,
Armas is
happy
amazing.
Happy birthday!
Thank you for being here on your birthday.
Happy birthday.
All right, so we do have a super chat here from Naruto, $5 super chat, and a team member. Thank you so much. I did hear about this. This is actually bookmarked. I was going to talk about it. We might as well just go ahead and talk about it now. Did you hear we lost the OG Master Splinter voice actor this week? I did see that. A lot of people. It's really interesting that we're seeing so many people that are passing recently, because even I've seen people in my real life recently, like 2 or 3 people, like older people that have passed away in the last 2 or 3 weeks. It's like, what is happening? Is this a conspiracy theory thing? I don't know, but it sucks. Shout out to him and just so much talent that we're seeing just go away, and it's like a voice acting thing too, because we've seen voice actors, and I think what was it? Who's the artist that passed away recently?
John Castee.
That's it. Yeah.
No, Rich Homie Quan. I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, but he did as well.
Oh no, when you said artist, I thought you like musical artist.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, shout out to him on that. Just
there was also a musician who died recently too. He's a country singer. I'm not entirely sure.
Really?
Yeah. What his name is Tim something.
I don't know. Hold on for a second here.
Tim-O-Matic?
No.
Is it Tim McGraw?
Tim.
That'd be huge.
I was gonna say it would be. Yeah, even I know who he is.
I'm asking only because maybe I missed it. I don't know.
Tim Spin.
No, it's not him.
Slim Tim.
He basically had stomach cancer or something like that.
I think that was Tim McGraw.
Was it?
Hold on, let me check. I know someone.
No, he's still alive.
Yeah, it's Tim McGraw still alive. It wasn't him.
But he's got health problems though, right?
Well, yeah, but he's not. He hasn't kicked the bucket yet.
Well, no, I'm saying like you mentioned like a health problem. I thought that was him that had that, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, apparently I misread the article that basically said he died.
That he died. Okay. Well,
yeah.
then, yeah.
One
No,
of those hoax.
I'm seeing Pete Wade died end of August.
Toby Keith. There it is.
Toby Keith, he was also sick. Yeah, that's true.
Where
Last
I knew
year,
it was
though.
a T.
Last year, why? 3 Dog.
I'm just saying that for me that was recent. Like recent.
Bro, that was like 9 months ago.
Yeah, it's still recent.
Um,
It's not like it was 1993.
Christmas.
how is Beetlejuice doing? I haven't looked at that recently. Is that doing well?
Good domestic.
It had
I think it's going
huge opening weekend.
I think it's going arse international, but it's a sort of it happens a lot. Like a lot of like
I mean, it's
American.
probably already
centric
got its money
movies.
back. So
Oh yeah, just off the domestic, I think it'll make its money back.
Hold on, let's see. Box Office Mojo. I'm just
Yeah,
curious.
131 domestic, but only 36 international.
they'll probably get number 1 again next week.
Yeah. I think
like-
I don't know. I saw it. Did anybody else here see it already?
I saw it.
You saw it. What about you, 3W? You seen the sequel? No.
I'm
Paige,
broke.
No, I haven't seen. I'm going probably next weekend, so in like 8 or 9 days or something to see it.
I didn't hate it, but I thought it was just okay.
My big review of it is I think it is fine.
It's an okay movie, but there's like one particular character in the movie that could have been subtracted from the movie, and it wouldn't have changed anything in the story.
Well, the issue is,
Oh, yeah,
well,
I-
Eric
I-
sent, like
okay,
Eric
I'm
sent me this
sorry,
really
technically
angry DM. He was like, "Where is Jeffrey Jones? Where the hell is he?"
I did
was
not.
desperate-
No, I did not send you a DM.
Nobody
about
is
Jeffrey
angry
Jones.
about that. Nobody's angry.
No, yeah, give me a break.
Someone said Jenna Ortega was definitely typecast, but is it really typecast if she loves playing characters that are dark?
I mean, it could still be a typecast. I mean,
Well,
I feel it's obvious casting, but like for a reason, it makes sense.
Well, I think it's also the fact that Tim Burton usually just works with the same handful of people, and he worked with her on.
let's be
Wednesday.
clear here. A large portion of people that went and saw that movie saw it because of her. Let's just be honest about it. Like, I know we want to believe that it was all about Michael Keaton, who I guess wants to be Michael Douglas now, which, by the way, I know he doesn't have like a lot of big projects coming out. As a celebrity, one of the worst things you can do is change whatever your branding is. I understand why he wants to do it, but it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It always makes me think. Go ahead, Bob.
I was just gonna say after reading that, I was just like, I wonder if he's thinking he's mainly gonna retire and just kind of do a project if he wants to every once in a while. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think to my understanding, what he's gonna go by is Michael Keaton Douglas, which. Okay, but yeah.
The only issue is, and this is the way I think a lot of people are going to see this, is you don't sell a movie with just Michael Keaton in the name. It's going to have to, or Michael Douglas. It has to be Michael Keaton because that is what Brett's brand recognition. And it makes me think back to Dirty Dancing and Jennifer Grey. And the fact that she had plastic surgery once she got a little bit of money, and it literally ruined her career. It ruined her career. You know, when you're an actor, how you look and your name, all of that is part of your brand. You know, you see a lot of these actors who are like big guys. They're they're overweight or they're kind of chubby or whatever, and they lose all their weight. Nobody wants to cast them anymore. Whatever it is that makes you memorable, even if it's unhealthy, even if you don't like it, that is what people want you to be when they hire you to work in something. And that's just the reality of it. And I wish it wasn't like that, but Hollywood's fucked up sometimes. That's just the way it goes. But I'm glad it's doing well. I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it's okay. I had fun with it. It was nice to see everybody back together. Do we want a Beetlejuice? Do we want a third one?
No, it's Beetlejuice because
I've heard. I've heard that they are planning on developing it, and maybe that's why they had so many stories because they plan on fleshing it out more in the third one. But
maybe
I could go either way. I will say Winona Ryder, still very pretty. Like that's one of the first things that struck me. I was like, damn, she looks good.
Definitely. All right, so this is interesting, and I think this is going to make a difference when it comes to. We'll do super chats in just a second. I promise you guys. This is going to be a big deal for future, like VFX bringing people back to life stories and things like that. So it says here Disney is being sued for using Peter Cushing's likeness in Rogue One. One of Cushing's oldest friends, Kevin Francis, claims the actor agreed not to grant permission for anyone to reproduce his appearance without Francis' authorization. Now, I was under the impression that his family gave permission for this. Was that not the way it was, or?
I assumed there was something,
I thought,
but yeah,
like,
apparently not.
I thought because there's no like laws surrounding it, they could do whatever they wanted until laws surrounded it.
Let's see here. The Disney Group, which made Rogue One, failed on Monday to have Francis's claim for unjust enrichment dismissed at the High Court in London. So I guess there is some sort of like, there's something to this, I guess. Francis's company, Tyburn Film Productions, is suing Disney's Lucasfilms, which owns rights to Star Wars. Okay, the agency represented Cushing until his death, so that makes more sense to me. Because the way that headline sounded, it made it sound like it was just somebody that knew him. The Disney companies claimed that they did not believe permission was required. Oh,
Okay, there's
this
the issue.
might be bad. The Disney company claimed they did not believe permission was required to recreate Cushing because of the terms of his contract in the original film and the nature of the special effects.
We'll have to see how this pans out, because that's one of the things I remember
So,
reading about the old Star Wars.
my
Like,
theory-
essentially, those actors signed their likenesses to George Lucas back in the day.
Like Luke Skywalker.
He owned it. Yeah.
Like Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker, yeah.
So it might be debatable. It might.
So my theory was kind of right. Like they didn't break the law because there's no rules stating that they couldn't.
Which is why this case is important, because depending on how this is ruled on, will be cited in other cases like this. Which means that if they rule in favor of this situation, it's going to make everybody go back and look at every single contract that was negotiated for any future projects that involve like likeness and things like that. Because it's one of the reasons why when you have a video game come out, like the Avengers video game that came out, why all of the characters look different, because it costs so much to get the likeness of an actor to be used in something in perpetuity. Like basically they can sell that game as long as they want without any sort of agreements. And a lot of the older TV shows, like if you ever watch Married with Children on streaming, they had the opening song, Love and Marriage, was removed for years because they lost that right to use that. And the same thing can happen with the likeness to actors over time, and that's why they have to get residual checks. You see these, like, I don't know if you guys have seen on like TikTok where actors and producers and stuff will open up checks, residual checks that they get for all kinds of shows. Like there was one, like I think it was somebody who was involved with like Friends that was opening up their check for like $1.30 or something like that, because they still get paid for, you know, being a part of that. But in this situation it's different because they recreated him. So it's not like they were using old footage. This was footage that they remade for the film. It says Francis, 75, who is seeking less than £500,000, made a number of films featuring Cushing's, including The Ghoul, Legend of the Werewolf, and Mask of Death. The actor signed an agreement to not allow his image to be used without Francis' permission in 1993, while preparing to make a televised film called A Heritage for Honor, which was not completed. The court heard. So the thing about it is, how does that connect to Disney and Lucas though? Like I'm wondering if that would count towards the Star Wars thing, because that would be a violation of the contract that he signed with Lucas at that point. If he did in fact,
and I would
permission.
assume the Lucas one would take precedence over it, because it would be the older one, I believe.
Yeah. In an area of developing law, it's very difficult to decide where boundaries might lie in the absence of full factual inquiry. Yeah, that's exactly what I think is going to be interesting about this, because we also saw this in the Flash movie with people being brought back to life and their likenesses being used.
I hated Henry Cavill's cameo. That felt like a disrespect.
In Henry Cavill's?
No,
in
not
Christopher
Christopher
Reeve?
Reeve.
Christopher Reeves.
Okay.
I hated Christopher Reeves. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm telling
I mean, if they're gonna do that, can they at least finish the special effects? I don't know.
Yeah, instead of going, oh, it's supposed to look like spaghetti people. I mean, I don't know.
It's like, no, it's not.
No,
Yeah.
the Batman 1966 was okay for me because I think it was archive footage.
Cody said the same thing happened with the Charm streaming. It uses a different song. Yeah. And Cody's saying they did give permission. Says other actors' roles who were completed after this include Oliver Reed's performance in Gladiator and Paul Walker in Furious 7, which was released in 2015. By the way, I had not seen that movie in a long time. I went back and watched it recently when I was rewatching all of the Fast and Furious movies. And I can't believe how well that was done, considering it was like, what, 9 years ago? It would have been 10 years ago because they would have been making it in 2014.
Yeah.
So
I was
last month,
honestly
yeah, go ahead,
shocked
Frida.
with Paul Walker because I can tell that there was like that he wasn't there because it felt like he kept smiling and
It wasn't saying anything. Yeah.
and wasn't saying
Oh, yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can't get through that movie without tearing up.
Yeah. It's
They handle it
definitely
really well.
That we'll see again. Just best send out that.
Now, here it says last month the California Senate passed a law that requires consent for the use of dead performers' likenesses for AI-created digital replicas. And that's another thing is we're going to find out how old contracts apply to this now. Because like you were saying, Bob, if they did sign their likeness over to Lucas, does that include AI and VFX versions of themselves in movies and TV shows? That's all we know so far, though. But it'll be really interesting to see like what happens with that moving forward, because it will set some sort of precedence for where we go with this kind of content in the future. All right, we have some super chats here. Cody, $5 super chat and a team member. Thank you, Cody. Vader's voice, body, face, person, and stunt double are all dead. Wow, that's true.
Except for the Anakin.
Well, he said Vader.
I assume he means the
Well,
original.
he is Vader.
Yeah.
He's Vader though.
Now he is. Yes, he is now. But you know, thank you, Cody.
By the way, I would like to point out, like, I want to praise that scene where his mask is uncovered, where it kind of merged with Darth. You're talking
about from Obi-Wan.
Yeah, Obi-Wan, where it kind of where it was Anakin and the voice. Oh my gosh, what's his? I'm drawing a blank, and you just pulled it up, Till.
John Hader.
The guy who voices Vader.
Oh, James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
I just blanked. I don't know why. Like it merged with his voice and Anakin's. It was kind of cool.
Yeah. No, it was great.
Oh, yeah.
Naruto here with the $5 super chat. Thank you again, Naruto, for supporting. I was slightly disappointed there were no jokes about Joker being the first R-rated movie to make $1 billion in Deadpool. That's true. I feel like it would have been an easy shot to the gut for them, but I wonder if that's because of. I mean, parody laws are allowed. You just have certain rules you can't.
No, there's also the fact of like you make the joke assuming that you're going to make it, you're going to pass it. But like you can never be too sure how good your movie's going to be.
They can still poke fun at it. I mean, they're self-aware of like the.
They can poke. I think. Now that Deadpool has made over $1 billion, I think the next Deadpool movie, or where Deadpool's a part of it, there's going to be a Joker joke, because he's going to like ha 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 ha. I got.
We'll also have to see how Joker 2 does. I don't think it's going to outperform Deadpool and Wolverine, but we'll have to see.
Also, it'll be kind of like I drew a blank again. I don't know what's my brain's problem.
Do we think that they're going to be ready to fast track another Deadpool movie now because of this?
I
think they'd be interested, but
I was going to say
I know Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is saying he won't do it because his wife Blake Lively won't let him, which kind of confuses me. I don't get the full context, but yeah.
I think he also said that if he does do a Deadpool, like it would be a cool team up if he was like with Spider-Man, which I can.
There'll never be another solo Deadpool movie. It'll be Deadpool or Deadpool.
Yeah, I think it's going to be.
There'll never be another one.
I'm game. That's at least for a little while.
Even the second one is like a team up movie. Really, like it's got all those characters in there because it works for the first one because it's pretty much an origin story. But once you get past that, you need Deadpool interacting. You need Deadpool interacting.
Wait. I thought of a clever one. Deadpool and the Vanisher.
Oh, no.
You can't see him.
Yeah. Speaking of Hayden,
did you see... Brad Pitt? Come on.
Speaking of Hayden, did you see he gave the speech for Ewan McGregor's Hollywood Walk of Fame star ceremony? No, I didn't see that. So
it's actually really good.
South Texas Trust says because it takes time away from him and his family. That's true. Especially when you're getting older with your family. The next thing I want to talk about is this is the clip that was shared, and it's so tiny because of fucking Twitter's a nightmare. Anyway, this is Dave Bautista talking about his weight loss. We talked about this the other night about people making comments about it and kind of joking about it. And he's going to give some information on why the weight loss happened. And it's a nice update here.
Have you been slimming down in order to play these other roles?
Yeah, absolutely. I started trimming down for a particular reason. One, I started trimming down because I just got fat. I got fat.
Your version of fat is not fat.
No, I got really big for a role, and it was uncomfortably big.
Knock at
and
the
then
cabin?
I figured, knock at the cabin. I got
Wait, what role would that? What role would that?
He
be?
said
Knock
it.
at the Cabin.
Knock at the Cabin, the Shyamalan movie.
But he wasn't big in that role though. He wasn't like a. He
was. He had to be like. He was pretty big.
Yeah, but it didn't look like. I don't know. That I feel like the idea of.
But I think it was like he was like beefy big. He wasn't like fat big. He was yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Knock at
And
the
then I
cabin?
figured, knock at the cabin. I got really big. I was like around 315 pounds, and I put it the weight on really fast.
So not
So it
like
wasn't
315 in WWE.
No, definitely not. You know, when I was younger, I was carrying lots and lots of muscle. This I had to put on between films. I had a very short period of time to put this weight on. I packed it on with French fries and pancakes.
Sounds
That's
awesome.
how I did it. And the director asked me. He said,
Pancakes are good, Pagey. Every time.
Yeah, but not.
You want to have a full-on discussion about every
Look,
item of
don't-
food that's ever mentioned.
Look, don't fucking come at me about this shit. I'll eat pancakes, but I would not like gorge on.
I will not sit here and let you dishonor.
Are you telling
pancakes.
me? Are you telling me you could sit there and eat plate and plate and plate after like 3 or 4 stacks of pancakes and not feel
No,
sick?
I'm not saying that, but I like.
That's
pancakes.
that's what I'm saying. I like pancakes. I prefer waffles.
I think you're lying. I think you're trying to backtrack now. Because
No,
I told you about
I'll
that, so-
I'll tell you what though. When you make pancakes at home, it's not worth
Waffles
it.
or pancakes right now. Waffles or pancakes.
Well, I hardly have waffles. so it's
Waffles
usually
or pancakes.
It's
Pagey.
usually waffles. If I go to a buffet like a breakfast thing and pick your own thing, if I can only pick one, it's waffles. Mainly
Waffles.
because
Waffles
they
are
go-
better than pancakes.
Pancakes.
waffles just a bit more versatile. You can just spread stuff. You can pick them up. Everything
So-
like
Chocolate
that.
chip waffles is actually pretty good.
Okay, so I'll allow pancake slander in defense of waffles. So
Well,
that's
waffles
allowed.
are
But-
clearly ahead. Like they're clearly ahead. But
So
at the same time,
one of the clubs I
like
work at, they have a cheese and bacon waffle sandwich. That's
yeah,
one
I'm
of the
not
sandwiches
surprised
I offer.
because it's you live in the United States of America, so that just sounds.
It's actually
typical.
really good. It's really good though. It's like a cheddar cheese with a waffle and then.
Well,
bacon
actually,
slit
well,
in
we
middle.
had the waffle double thing at KFC. Remember that photo thing?
Someone saying,
Look, Troy says $2 super chat just to say waffles. Fuck pancakes. LOL.
$2 to prove
Well, I don't
it.
want to
$2 to be
dismiss
wrong?
pancakes. You don't want to dismiss pancakes. Pancakes are still a valid thing in the environment. of food.
Pagey, waffle eating contest, pancake eating contest, or hot dog eating contest? Which one are you trying to sign up for?
I think pancake.
For the eating contest?
Yeah, because I feel like shit, but they're easy to get down. I'd probably win.
You know what? I usually like.
Waffle
how did we even
definitely
get on this
not.
fucking
Waffle-
topic. It's always sidetracking from
With a
something.
waffle, you're probably gonna tear the roof of your mouth up with a.
Okay,
eating
well
competition.
let's finish listening to Dave and then we'll get back to the waffle. So
Oh, I don't want you to look like a power lifter. I just want you to look like a great big guy. And so now looking back at it, man, I probably overdid it. I was probably a little too big. But at the time, I was just thinking, I got to get big. I got to get big. I got to get big. And I put on an uncomfortable amount of weight, and it took me forever to shed it off. And then I noticed, like, the more I trimmed down, the better I felt.
I will say this: as you get older, it does become harder to like put on and take off weight. It is like it settles, and then that's it. Like it's really hard.
around
so,
like 35, it starts to get harder.
yeah.
And I also noticed the more I trimmed down, the better I looked on camera, the better I looked next to other actors. Because typically next to, even at this weight, that's weird because people think, like for me, people say, God, you're skinny. I've even saw like online, some people are worried about my health. And when I say it out loud to people, I'm 6'4", 240 pounds.
Yeah.
You know, which sounds like, it sounds like when you say that out loud, it sounds like I'm a big person.
Sounds like you'd play in the NFL.
But to me, because people have seen me so much bigger over the years.
You know, I have to say, I'm giving him credit for really indulging this answer because
Yeah.
it could have been a quick little like it's none of your business or whatever. But he's actually giving like a full on explanation for why. And I actually think it's important because of the fact that we've had, even after we did that video, I was getting comments from people saying, stop defending it. You know, he obviously doesn't want to put the weight on because he's not willing to put in the work. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
But
And,
he's still
it's,
putting in
they
the work
think
to
I'm like
lose it.
anorexic, but I'm just a large human being. So at 6'4", 240 pounds, next to your typical actor, I look like a gorilla, and it's distracting. so I'll probably lose like a few more pounds. But then because I'm basically killing myself to be this trim. I mean, I'm training hard. Not only training hard, but my calories are pretty.
Wasn't this one of Hugh Jackman's complaints when going back for like playing Wolverine, is that the shirtless stuff requires him to do so much gym time? Isn't that one of the things?
Yeah. I would be I will never question the age of 55 ever again. You can put in that much work to be that buff.
What are we talking?
I don't know, maybe 2,500 calories a day.
That's like enough for someone my size.
Yeah. For me, it's like nothing. I mean, I'm just not eating much, and I'm not starving or anything. But I am like that. I don't like an intermittent fast, so I don't eat for I haven't eaten yet. It's like almost 1 o'clock.
Wow.
And then I typically don't eat like 3-4 hours.
That's
before I go to bed.
wild.
So it's just like a very few.
That's why it's a short window.
A short window.
Yeah.
So I can tell you this: if I haven't had something by 1 o'clock, you might as well like push me over. Like I really like. I'm not a big breakfast person, but I have to have something, whether it's like a small sandwich or something like that.
That's essentially what I do. I intermittent fast. I don't eat till about 11, maybe midday if I can push it, and then I eat dinner at like 6, and that's it.
I am
And
literally
then
on
just
a
drink
strict
water.
1 meal diet that I've only eaten at 4, and then that's it.
Oh my
for the
god,
entire day.
Whoa.
I couldn't do that.
that's crazy.
This is like the 6th day that I'm doing it, and I've lost 20 pounds.
Is it because you don't want to do like a traditional diet, or is that the only? Because I know certain diets don't work for everybody, so I didn't know if that was something that you found works for you, and that's why you're doing it.
I'm basically restricted on what I can eat, so basically all I eat is chicken and fish, which is high in protein,
Oh, okay.
and it's working.
That's good. Good. I'm glad for you. Yeah, great. All right, so let's get to what the thumbnail said. We're an hour in. I feel like we should give the people what they want, which is the trailer for Venom: The Last Dance. Now, this is the final trailer. This is the final trailer. So, it is what it is. If you're watching this on playback, there is like a 98% chance the trailer is going to be gone, but the commentary will still be here. So,
I just want to say how interesting it is. So we get one MCU movie this year, one DC movie, and 3 Sony Spider-Verse movies.
Yes. And this one and Kraven both, to me, I think look decent. Like I think they're going to be decent movies so far. This trailer could ruin it for me, though. It could absolutely ruin it.
I have no expectations. I hope. I hope Tom Hardy's ridiculous.
It's kind of funny that it feels like they're rushing out the Sonyverse so that they can end the universe and reboot it.
Silhouette Animator says Dave Bautista looking like Hugo Strange. That's true. Thank you for the $2.
Well, someone said he looked like Earth 25 DJ Eric.
Oh God, never mind. So you have another super chat, Silhouette Animator. We're gonna talk about Superman and Lois stuff in just a moment, but we're gonna get through this trailer first. Thank you though. Okay, so Bob, have you seen we looked at it here on the podcast, but have you seen the trailer for the new trailer for Kraven, the latest one that came out?
Not the brand new one, no.
Okay. It completely changed my mind about the Kraven movie. I actually think the Kraven movie might be pretty good now based on what it looks like they're doing with it.
I mean, because they have a lot of white people.
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to that part, but
They
I
have
will say
rhinos.
they do. So it looks to me like, I think Paige, didn't you say that they had to go in and do reshoots for the 3rd act? Wasn't that something that you talked about?
Like apparently the original ending of Kraven is just Rhino being created. There's no fight.
So now they're reshooting it so we actually get a Rhino versus Kraven battle, which I think makes a lot of sense. And it looks good. Like whoever shot that trailer needs to be given a raise, because it definitely took me from like, fuck this movie to like, oh, I'm probably going to check it out now. So we'll see if this is any good. Now, by the way, I want to point out. Go ahead, 3Dub.
Did Kraven change his accent from American to whatever his origin is.
Oh, I
Like,
have
it
no
felt-
clue.
it
I
felt-
have no
he's-
clue.
It felt like in the first one he was speaking like American English. And
No, they
now
have.
he's-
They got Russell Crowe, his dad, speaking like Russian, and then his younger version is always sounding Russian, and then when he gets older, he speaks American. Like
Because
sounds
he probably lived in the United States and so
And
he's
it's
lost his accent.
played by a British guy. So
Yeah.
I don't know
Okay.
why they decided to confuse and mix that up so much.
All right, here we go. Again, if you're watching this on playback, it might be gone. It's a high percentage it will be, but all the commentary will still be here. So let's watch Venom: The Last Dance and see if this is going to get people hype for this movie. It's not a Joe Blow trailer, by the way, Paigey. So
Thank
don't
God.
look to it.
Hmm.
I'm with you to the end.
I'm with you
This
to
is
the
your
end,
captain
Bucky.
speaking. If you look out to your left, you'll see a beautiful view of the Grand Canyon.
Told you we could fly! Jesus Christ! Where did this show?
One of my issues with Venom is that the voice acting for Venom never sounds like it's actually coming from Venom. Does that make any sense? It seems like it's just this
Yeah.
like, floating
I think-
voice in
I
the
think-
movies.
I honestly think that Venom isn't speaking in the way that we think. Like, I think he's telepathically speaking to him.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah,
I mean, like when
absolutely, yeah.
when he's in his Venom form, it just doesn't feel like the voice is connected to who Venom is. Also, there is a actor that is rumored to be in this. We'll talk about that after the trailer, but let's continue. In association with Marvel.
Marvel, trust us.
No, I can absolutely guarantee you I'm gonna.
My home has found us.
Who sent that thing?
My creator.
Of course.
The symbiotes didn't come here by accident. They were running.
From what? What's his name then?
No!
So Null is from the comics, in case anybody's wondering. I'm sure a lot of people in the chat probably already know that already. As like the creator of all the symbiotes, and the rumor is that he's going to be played by Daryl Dixon himself.
Oh. Huh.
So, so we're Walking
I
Dead
am
crossover with
happy.
Venom.
I
Baby.
am very, very happy you used Daryl Dixon instead of his actor. I don't know who the actor is.
I'm trying to see
Daryl
before we
Dixon.
go any
You don't
further. I
want
want to
Norman
see,
Reedus, no. You know.
yeah, where the Norman Reedus rumor came from. I'm trying to see if there's a source on that because they said it wasn't confirmed, but I don't know if the source is listed. Hold on.
Apparently, it was
Give me a second.
debunked.
Is it debunked already? I wouldn't be
Yeah, that's what's being
surprised.
said in the chat.
Who posted it though? Who was the person that posted it?
Oh, probably some idiot.
Yeah, it's gone. I guess the site that uploaded it deleted it because I had it bookmarked, but it's not there anymore. So they must have been like, we're not going to get in the middle of this. Oh, it was My Time to Shine.
Oh, there you go.
Well,
Okay, never mind.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I
I like him. I wouldn't have been mad about it. Like it wasn't.
I
Like
wouldn't
was
have been
upset,
mad
but,
about it. I
yeah.
mean, they picked it a great fan cast, but at the same time,
But it's also
they're-
It's a character that's like all different and like with makeup and stuff. They'd probably just get someone that has a good voice to do it.
Terrence Howard is Null. Well, he'll be recast. Don't
My
worry.
Yeah, I
Time
know
to
you
Shine
know.
is more as reliable as we got this covered.
I mean, they get a lot of their news
Jesus.
from My Time to Shine. So, all right, let's go.
We have something he needs. As long as Venom lives, everything will end.
What are we doing?
We need a disguise.
Hey, man.
Whoa.
What?
Why'd you?
Did he just
Did he just
pee?
piss himself?
No, yeah.
Hey, man.
Whoa.
Why'd you keep knocking people out? What is wrong?
I will say this: I don't feel like Eddie gets any character development in any of these movies. He's the same person as we met in the first film.
Well, I
In
mean,
my
it's
opinion.
one of the entertaining things about it, and I don't even think it's a good thing. It's entertainingly bad. Is just Tom Hardy's ridiculous performance as Eddie. It doesn't feel like Eddie Brock at all. It just this
No.
weird goofy thing he's doing, and it's fun, but I don't know if it's good.
He feels like he's on crack when he's
Yeah.
like Eddie.
All
Like
right.
he's like.
All right.
Oh, is he?
Sorry.
Oh, baby, baby, it's a while.
We've come a long way, you and me. But we are strong.
This world can't survive if you stay together.
Oh, baby,
Is that the same?
But I need him.
I want to know the reason for that anyway. Like, what's the purpose of the horse? I'm curious to see why they're using a Venom horse. I really
To look cool.
I'm
Yeah, I
curious if what's her name?
'cause
from
he-
the first two movies are in this.
Michelle Williamson.
Yeah, Michelle.
I thought
Williamson,
she was
'cause-
in this, but I was just looking. I don't see her in the cast.
He's
so-
using the horse because he falls out of the plane and is stuck in the middle of it, and Venom can't really make a human run that fast, but he could make a horse run super fast.
I guess.
Sure.
I'm intrigued.
I think there's a Venom frog too.
You're bad people.
There we are.
always remember you.
There comes a time in every man's life where you have to make a sacrifice.
Eddie, I'm with you to the end.
I'm with you to the end, Bucky.
Always remember you.
No, this is all the money that we have.
What is this feeling? It's like it's like all of my problems have gone away.
You're welcome, but
Eddie, I need more money.
All right. Okay. So, what did we think of the trailer? Did it make you more excited for?
I would
This
say
is a movie that's
Oh.
coming out and will be released.
Yeah.
I will say I'm a guy that likes humor, so I laughed at it, so I'm probably going to see it. Basically finish up the first two. I've been here since the first one, so I need to like finish it out.
Yeah.
So
I saw something.
I'll be watching this at home. I will not be.
You're not
Giving-
going to the theaters to see this one?
No, the second one was so fucking ass. It's made me not trust this one, so I'll watch it at home.
You didn't like the second one, baby?
The second one was awful. No, don't even try and gaslight me. into
I
thinking
thought the
that I'm
second
in the
one was
wrong.
like better than the first one. What do you?
Yeah, okay. No,
The second one does this rom-com thing between Eddie and Venom that I actually really enjoy. It treats it
Yeah,
like this
see?
romantic comedy shit. It's so dumb that I like it. Now Carnage was ass in the second one, but yeah.
it felt like a breakup in the second one.
Yes. it follows
and they
all the cliches
reconciled.
that they have to break up and then reconcile. Yes.
Here's another take it with a grain of salt rumor. Spider-Man 4 might feature Tom Holland's Spider-Man facing off against Tom Hardy's Venom. Venom: The Last Dance could set up this interaction. So I saw this rumor earlier today that they're not going with a grounded Spider-Man story like we heard before. Instead, we're going to be using the multiverse by symbiote proxy to bring these guys together. My question
Please
also
don't.
is, yeah, exactly. That was my first reaction to this. But the other one is, didn't they show Venom in the MCU? Wasn't that like... So I'm still confused on what's happening with that.
Yeah, they did the post-credit scene where like the Venom symbiote literally portaled him to the MCU and then portaled him back. That was weird.
I think it was what's funny is I think when when the spell of Doctor Strange went haywire, anyone that knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man comes through, and Venom knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man because he's a multiverse symbiote.
Which is why I think they're saying this is going to be the plot of Spider-Man 4. I think that's why
I
they're
honestly
saying
think that this could also lead to the Secret Wars where Peter turns evil. Which
I
he becomes Venom.
I would be fine with them doing the black suit Peter stuff with Tom Holland. Maybe not the next movie, but I'm also am cool with just retiring the Tom Hardy Venom.
I would love to see a more proper like storyline with Venom, but I don't even know if that's going to work.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's going to happen in the MCU. I don't know
I
if that's
think-
going to happen in the MCU,
Yeah.
honestly.
I think when Venom first came into the MCU, he looked at it like a TV news thing about Peter Parker's Spider-Man, and he goes, "This guy."
That sounds familiar. Now I just remember being like, "What? What? you don't know this guy? You don't."
So do we
And
not
then-
believe this rumor? We do believe this rumor. Where does everybody stand on this one?
I'm
I mean, I think it's pretty clear where they
60-40 on it.
stand. I mean, look at the.
think-
What's the?
on it.
I
What's
think
the?
Sony will do anything if they think so, make them $5 extra. I hope it's not true. I personally want a grounded story after the multiverse story, the last one.
The one
What's
that
the
they,
third word there?
the one that the rumor that I saw about the story plot originally was to have a street level Daredevil team up with.
That was what the rumor was. Yes.
Yeah, I kind of like that idea more.
What were you saying, Paige, about the third word? What were you
What's the
saying?
third word in that tweet?
Spider-Man might feature.
That's 2 words, but might. As soon as I hear might, what do you mean might?
Oh no, yeah, we've talked about that before. That's literally.
It means it's a rumor, and
yeah,
right.
might. Like
No.
I might win $1 million tomorrow. Fuck, it's not
I mean,
happening. I'll tell you that.
this could literally just be a leaked rumor made up by some random person. It might be a leaked rumor from
Pull it
Sony just
back up.
going
That's
to
not the
get the
third
read
word.
of it. I mean,
It is a third word because 4 is a number. So
Oh.
Spider-Man, the 2 words hyphenated.
Got him.
4 is a number. Might is the third word.
Okay. I thought 4 wasn't a word; it was a number.
That's what he said. He said third
I
word.
think he's trying to gaslight you, Eric.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
And isn't Spider-Man connected?
Yeah, Cody says Cosmic Circus is actually extremely reputable despite it being a rumor. Well, maybe they did some follow up on it.
I just hate when people say might. Just like stick by your source
Yeah.
and say that they will.
All right,
And then-
before we look at this item that
Source,
Paige has
trust
up on
me,
the
bro.
screen, we do have. Well, actually, let's look at this first, and then we're going to do Silhouette Animators super chat, and then we'll go into the Superman and Lois pictures we'll look at. But Paige brought this on. What is this?
That's the. I just thought you because I know you're an Australian KFC connoisseur, despite never eating it before. That is
Oh,
the
okay.
new. They brought this back. It was there like a couple of years ago, and they brought it back recently. It's called the Slab. It's popcorn chicken on some dinner rolls. 6 dinner rolls, as you can see you can see visually. Barbecue sauce at the bottom, and I think it's like a cheese sauce. I don't know if it's nacho cheese or just a cheese sauce.
Those
on
actually
top.
look like cheap sliders.
Yeah, but it's mad. Good value as well for what it is. I haven't had it this time around. I had it last time, but I keep seeing on the ads. But I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
No, Jordan, don't come in here and say Jordan, if you've had it and you say it's mid, get it and get a tub of the gravy on the side as well, and you dip them in the gravy and off its head.
I think you're trying to gaslight him now. I think that's what's going on. Like, you're trying
Mate,
to
it's like
gaslight him.
no, it's because it's not like you're paying. Yeah, don't get me wrong, Jordan. I prefer a zinger burger as well. Once again, dip the zinger burger in the gravy.
Lone Wolf, and this is in reference to Venom, so we'll do this quickly. $5 super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel, Lone Wolf. So I'm seeing on Twitter that Null will be a setup most likely and will appear in another film if he goes out in this one. It will be the Enigma Force. So this movie is a end to the Venom trilogy, but it ends with a setup in the movie too. That seems
won't
like
put
it's a big
past Sony.
risk.
Just to remind you, DJ Eric, I think you missed Silhouetted Animator.
Silhouetted.
Silhouette. I'm trying to read from like not knowing his name.
Which one did I miss?
I think both of them, because he commented a bunch if you were saving them for the end of the stream.
I pulled up the one that talks about Dave Bautista.
There is seen some Superman and Lois fans theories.
Right.
That Tom. Yeah.
Did you hear what I responded to that one?
No.
I said we're going to be talking about Superman and Lois pictures, and I will pull that up when we're doing that. That's I told him that. So, but I appreciate you keeping track. Thank you.
Okay.
Despite not paying
Carry
attention.
Carry on. I wasn't listening.
Anyway, So if Sony does this whole thing as a setup for another project, that's a good way to ruin what could be a solid end to a somewhat messy, kind of unexpected hit that they had with Venom. Because the first one was actually a fun movie. I actually think the first Venom regardless of it not having Spider-Man in it, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun movie. The second one was kind of a chaotic mess for me in a lot of ways, but I still think it was a fun film. This one had the potential to really wrap up and put it like an end cap on a good trilogy of movies. But if they do it for a setup that never pays off, what a horrible way to end Venom, in my opinion. Right? I mean, that's not good, I don't think, personally. But Black Adam all over
Black
again.
Adam all over. I saw that, yeah.
Have you seen people...
Does this mean you're going to do Spider-Man updates or Spider-Man Sony crossover merge updates, or no?
I will forgive it if the Venom trilogy ends with a mid-credit scene with Henry Cavill popping up as Superman.
Oh yeah,
let's build up a battle.
I'm here. I got a favor called in from Amanda Waller, so I'm here. I've seen the video. Like, there's been clips on Twitter of people posting that end scene, and they're like, "Why the fuck is Superman doing anything for Amanda Waller? What favor could she have possibly have done for him that he had to repay her for? Like, it just doesn't make any sense at all."
The only way it makes sense is she's blackmailing him somehow, right?
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of the Deadpool and Wolverine where he was Hugh Jackman's, Wolverine. Where Henry Cavill. It would be funny if he actually pops up in the end credit scene and goes, "Hey, bub."
Yeah, the Enigma Force is how Venom beats him in the comics, which is why I brought that up. Yeah, I mean, look, it sounds to me like they have a perfect opportunity to end the series with a solid ending for what it is, right? Venom's not highbrow. It's not a highbrow comic book series, right? So I don't expect it to be that, but it is probably the best Spider-Man thing that Sony's ever done that's in live action. Because clearly the Spider-Verse stuff is amazing. Like, the animated stuff is like 10 out of 10s for me. But Venom is probably the best thing they've done in live action, because look at what we've had. Morbius, it's Morbin time. We had that. We had the Madam Web, which is probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen, no lie. So, the track record is not very good.
Can I restate why I hate that movie?
Go ahead, tell me.
They set up this future thing where he dies in 10 years, only to push it until now. Where he dies under a pea.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about the way the movie is. Yeah, I get it.
It was pointless story.
The fact that the actresses had to push to get any kind of real comic book references in that film means there was a lot of mistakes made. Now, and I wanted to give the movie the benefit of the doubt, but it was just boring. It wasn't even that it was bad. It was just a boring movie.
That's the biggest issue. It's boring. The acting is awesome. Yeah. Boring.
I remember seeing the trailers and seeing like the 3 spider people in there. It's like, oh, I wonder who it'll be. And then you're watching the movie and you realize, and you start seeing those scenes and it's a dream sequence, and you start going, oh.
And a lot of the people, they were like, oh, it's going to be woke. It's going to be girl boss. They went and saw it and they're like, it wasn't even that, because it wasn't even anything. Like, the movie just wasn't like, it didn't have any elements of wokeness, because it wasn't even a movie worth even talking about. It was just that bad.
And that was funny. If you break down the movie to its bare bones, like, essentially it's like almost like a serial killer movie, except the serial killer's like Spider-Man powers. And it's like, if you want to be creative, you maybe could do something with that, but they didn't.
I did also like that they had a Spider-Man, like, basically having Spider-Man powers that without webs. I thought that was stupid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole thing seemed like it came from people that didn't even understand Spider-Man.
That was, to be fair, Spider-Man doesn't have webs. He makes the web shooters.
Tobey Maguire.
It depends on the version.
Yeah, but he's like a freak Sam Raimi version.
Spider-Man 2099.
Yeah, he's a weird futuristic version.
Nor.
Let's see. Hold on.
Pepsi Man origin.
Yeah, what would be a Pepsi Man movie?
I think he got killed by Peter. Just saying.
All right, so we have let me share the screen here. So we have some pictures from Superman and Lois. Now, Bob, have you got around to watching the series yet?
I just finished season 2. I'm about ready to go into season 3.
Oh my God,
I
it's
mean,
so
if you,
good.
if you
It's
guys
such a
do
good series.
some spoilers, I'll be fine.
We're not really going to talk
enjoying it.
spoilers. This is just pictures from the upcoming season. But
I've seen some of these. Yeah.
I have to say, the fact that this is a TV show and they managed to do everything they've done in a TV show about Superman shocked me, because my biggest concern going into the series back before when it was first announced was, how are they going to make Superman work on a TV budget? Because we know Supergirl, they really struggled to make it feel real a lot of times. But through the work of like lighting and proper color correction and saturation and design, they managed to make a lot of the scenes really powerful. And one of the ones that I remember, and Paige, I know we talked about this when we were talking about it during the season, was the scene where he's like flying around and like saving like the building falling and the you know, like lifting that up in the air and everything. Even the scene in the first episode where he's got the truck, you know what I mean, like they did that with like a practical prop and everything. Like they made so many smart choices with this. I'm shocked at how good this is, and I have to say, depending on how the show ends, but I can't imagine it's going to change my opinion about this, but I think Tyler Hoechlin, depending on what they do with David Cornsweet, I think Tyler Hoechlin is my favorite Superman.
Well, the advantage you have is
might
he's the most explored Superman. You see the positives and negatives of that side of his life and the effect that it has around the past of his life, but also going forward with his kids and everything like that. I'm really interested to see what they do with the final season. Like, obviously, this is clearly a flashback. I mean, obviously,
yeah,
but I'm interested to see like what they do with the flashback aspect of this season, depending on how much it might only be in the first episode. It might only be in the first episode or two.
Yeah.
But then again, that looks like a flashback as well.
I think this is going to be a flashback when they think he's dead, because they're doing the death of Superman in this season. They haven't explained how they're going to do it yet, but we know that that's one of the storylines.
I know. I know. I've seen pictures of Doomsday, so I figured that that would be on the table.
For people that like know me, I'm like a huge Smallville fan, and I'm going to give Superman and Lois the props it deserves. It felt like when watching this that they absolutely love Superman. They gave him, the scenes that he uses his powers. You can tell the detail it goes in for and the scene choreography.
Oh my God, I'm so happy to see them back. I mean, I was so worried we weren't going to get them again because of the budget cuts and things. I love almost this entire cast, but these are my two favorite characters outside of Superman and Lois.
Oh, I thought I was expecting a photo of Chrissy and Kyle.
No, absolutely not.
Like my favorite
Who doesn't
scene
love Kyle? Come on.
is always the space scenes where he's hovering over Earth, and how they like when he goes to like Japan falling to Earth, you know, in the pilot, I believe, they changed the set to where it looks like he's actually in Japan.
Here we go, Paigey, just for you.
What do you mean, just for me? You're the one that
you're the fan. You're the biggest fan.
I'm the fan.
Silhouette Animator says, a $5 super chat says, seen some Superman and Lois fans theorize that Tom Cavanaugh is playing Brainiac, and the Lex plot is a red herring to hide a twist like Bizarro, Parasite, or Doomsday.
Well, they're going to have some sort of physical threat in this final season. Like, regardless of like the budget cuts going into it, like there's clearly going to be a final fight, whether it's like in the final X amount of minutes of the show or just in the finale as a whole. Now, I highly doubt they're going to just Doomsday, like resurrect Doomsday and just repeat the end of last season. Right. So I don't know. I don't think it'll be Tom Cavanaugh. I think it'll be someone. I'm just hoping it's someone we haven't seen. I hope it's just not like, oh, here's this person from season 2 or season 1. We're bringing them back. I'd rather it be someone else, but also at the same time, you just don't want them to show up and be like, time for a fight. Like it's Street Fighter.
If it's Supergirl.
No, I don't think it'll be Supergirl.
They've said this in a different universe, which kind of threw me off when I saw season 2.
Yeah.
But
because I have a fan casting for her. Like it's not even Melissa.
So who is it? Who's your fan casting for Supergirl on Superman and Lois?
Have you seen Teen Wolf?
Yes.
It's Malia Tate. the actress that plays Melinda
Oh.
Tate.
Okay. I assume you mean the new series, not the Michael J. Fox movie.
No, not the Michael
Yeah,
J.
the new
Fox one,
series.
yeah. I don't think so. I think based on the way the show had to streamline its budget, we're only going to be introduced to maybe 1 or 2 new characters. I don't think they would introduce Supergirl in the final season. But
And even
No,
if
I
it
mean,
was,
like,
it'd be
I
Melissa
think-
Benoist. They wouldn't just. I don't think they'd be weird if they
think it-
recast.
I think it would be kind of like cool if it was like an open book, like they did with Smallville, where your imaginations fly, and they don't like actually show him being Superman. I think it
with
would be
Supergirl, is that what you mean with Supergirl?
Yeah, with Supergirl, like she.
Well, to be fair, that wasn't
reaches Earth.
that wasn't imaginations flying. That was Warner Brothers saying, "Yo, you can't put him in a suit."
I know, but I'm trying.
I have to give Smallville credit. They did a lot of shit without putting him in the suit. They
Yeah.
really did as much as they possibly could do. But yeah, so Silhouette Animated here says this is the end of the CW-DC era. I will say it's even bigger than that. This is the end of DC TV on any network television. I don't think we're going to see
Shit. Yeah.
Well,
DC television on any other network.
unless James Gunn absolutely shits the bed,
I've
then they
said
might have to resort back. Then we might backtrack.
I've said this on Twitter, but I find it hilarious that we started with an Lex that's a Michael, and we're ending with a Lex that's a Michael.
Oh, I see what you're doing there. If you want to cry a bit more about this, this is something that 3Dub brought up earlier, but apparently the network, before all this shit went down, had projected to do a 7-season run for Superman and Lois. Which
I have never been more pissed at Nexstar in my life.
Yeah, I mean,
I will say I didn't. I think I stopped watching the CW shows around season 5 of The Flash, but I was keeping up with like all of them for a while, and then I kind of ducked out. I did check out Crisis, which I enjoyed, and then I decided to jump back in for Superman and Lois, and now it's like, oh, now this is just all the end.
Yeah, I understand a lot of people checked out. We had our criticism of it because we stayed all the way to the end.
Yeah.
We were doing weekly podcast about it all the way to the end, and I had valid criticism about individual episodes. And
Except Naomi, you loved every episode.
I actually stopped watching Naomi, but it is what it is. But
I stopped watching Naomi at 6 because it wasn't tied to the Arrowverse. So
I think I stopped watching at like 5, whatever episode the campfire episode was.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah. I was trying to see here. There was a poster that someone shared about the Arrowverse that I was like, oh my god, it
Gotham
takes me all
Knights.
the
I
way
stopped
back.
after episode 1.
I will say, looking back now, I know there was some shining moments, but I think that Eric Wallace kind of fucked up with the Flash, and I think it's probably because he had too much. He was a showrunner, so he had total control, but he had too many yes people around him that didn't want to tell him not to do something, and I feel like that was a big problem, and the show kind of went off the rails, and then we have Cecile. But I digress.
feel like the villains the only one that I kind of liked was Bloodwork. That felt like a decent amount of episodes. I hate his interlude episodes. They're the worst. The second favorite is Armageddon. I thought that was great. And then I think Blackest Night was my third favorite. But Red Death lost
Blackest
me.
Night. We didn't do Blackest Night.
Sorry, not Blackest Night. Deathstorm.
Yes.
I was referencing Blackest Night because Deathstorm's in there. But what was I saying? Oh, and then Red Death ruined it for me. And
Red Death. Oh my god. Oh no. I can't even. Oh, that was so bad. Bob, you didn't see that. That was very late in the Flash series.
Yeah, I know. I was overall enjoying it, but it was getting really redundant. I felt like every time it was just some super speedster, and I get, you have to do something that's an inverse of Flash, but I was like, can you come up with something that isn't a super speedster again? And
well, I mean, a lot of people said he lied every season. He started out with, "My name is Barry Allen. I'm the fastest man in the world." And it's like, no,
yeah,
no, you're not.
There's gonna be someone faster.
You never are.
Have you met your grandson?
Right, you never are. You're not the fastest one. But look, I look back on the show and I think very fondly of it because I did enjoy it more than I disliked it, and that's usually
I was quoting
what
the
I ask
comics,
for
by the
show,
way.
So.
Don't try to correct me.
I must say, I knew as soon as I saw Red Death, I was like, that's gonna be fucking ass. It's not gonna be good. Red Death in the comics isn't good.
Well, you said that like no matter what they did, they couldn't make it what it was in the.
Well, they were never going to be able to
comics.
use Batman, so it was always going to be some sort of, and it was that you maybe using the one that fans wanted the most, and they went the side which just logistically made the most sense, which was using the Batwoman side.
What's funny is they had his freaking face.
They did, yes, in Batwoman they did. All right, so we have Lone Wolf here with the $5 super chat. We're gonna move on to the next topic after this, but you guys, if you want to super chat CW stuff, we'll read it out. Random, but if we get one episode of Reverse Flash showing up to fight Superman, also, what if we got Tony Todd to voice Null? I love Tony Todd's voice, so I'm always down for him doing some voice acting.
Tony Todd can do anything, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
One of the rumors that I heard was Tom Cavanaugh was also going to be like Cyborg Superman.
What?
That was kind of funny.
Are we mixing rumors with fan?
I was gonna say, like, what is that? Cyborg Superman?
I think it was like a theory, like that could
be
a theory based on what though?
That's theory based on
someone's brain.
Someone
went, "Oh, this is a good idea."
Screenshotted.
Yeah, definitely wasn't a rumor.
Trust me, bro.
Well, rumors are unfactual until proven factual. So
yeah, but that's like pigs can fly. Like I was fucking.
Okay, Tom Cavanaugh might be Cyborg Superman.
There's that word. There's the word.
Exclusive, guys.
There's the word. Might. Facey's ready to let it go now. All right. Before we move to the next topic, thank you, Lone Wolf, for this. Oh, by the way, Reverse Flash showing up to fight Superman. I want to answer that because we kind of skipped over that. I know that Reverse Flash mentions the Superman thing in a crossover, and so people want to see that. But I don't know if that would work on Superman and Lois, to be honest, because
I don't think so.
And also, they said that Tom Cavanaugh isn't playing Reverse Flash.
I think it doesn't really matter because it's like Superman. Tyler Hoechlin's Superman is both on this non-disclosed Earth and also on Earth Prime. So for him to say "I fought your cousin," it could mean whatever.
It could be any. It could be any. Superman.
It could be Brandon Routh.
Yeah. It could. It could be any Superman. Thank you for the super chat. What are we sharing now? Oh, geez, more. Yes, I love Cadbury, but I hate Vegemite. We're not having this. This is not. It's not happening.
So you wouldn't try a little block of that?
No, I never swallow when it comes to Vegemite. Never swallow. So
it actually was quite nice. I actually bought it multiple times when it was obviously limited edition. It was only out for a bit.
Well, never eat it around me. I don't want to smell it or anything. This is not. Look,
Henry
Jordan says, "Is this real?" Because even Jordan's calling cap on this one.
I can't remember. You don't remember this, Jordan? It was like, when was it? It was about 10 years ago.
This reminds me of those fake Lay's chips that people make all the time, like Lay's raccoon shit and baby powder flavored or something like that.
I'm
like
sorry,
I can't believe it's not dairy.
Don't push that agenda. What raccoon shit and baby powder is comparable to Vegemite?
Well, all I'm going to say is David Ayer is at Warner Brothers. So are we getting the Ayer cut?
Yeah, I think he must have gone on the studio tour.
Yeah.
This is never going away. We're never, ever, for the rest of our lives, going to get rid of this Ayer cut of the Suicide Squad movie.
No, I just released the Snyderverse.
The Snyder cut, which,
that.
I mean, and let's face it, the Snyder cut that was released was never the Snyder cut that would have been released if he had directed it. It's
And the original plan for the 5 movie, I as soon as I found like the leaked script and whatever, it didn't sound like interesting.
For what, the David Ayer Suicide Squad movie?
No, the Justice League.
Oh, Paigey said that before though. We've tried that, Bob. I know you haven't been here for these streams, but we have told people a million times that the Zack Snyder's Justice League was not the original plan for those movies. It literally wasn't, and people just don't want to believe it. They have to cope about it.
There's
so
a 5-movie plan. That was originally.
I mean, it obviously wasn't. They would never release a 4-hour movie to theaters. They had to give Avengers Endgame to 3 hours. And that's freaking Avengers. That's a proven property. Zack Snyder was not proven nearly at that level. Yeah.
Which, by the way, get ready for the fact that both Doomsday and Secret Wars are probably going to be 3 hours each, most likely.
No drinking liquids I'm warning you now. No drinking liquids, because if you miss it, freaking.
Oh, I was like, wait, what are you talking about?
No, you know what you do.
I'll go get my captor. I'm good.
You know what you do. You just make sure you eat popcorn in the theater because it's salty as shit. It's going to soak up all your liquid. Guess what? You're not doing going to the toilet.
That's a good
That
idea.
doesn't work
Do you
for
put a
me.
lot of salt on your popcorn, Pagey?
I just,
SMP's
whatever it is,
bathroom
I mean,
breaks.
it's just salty. I just get the one that, because like over here, they don't have like the butter machine and like that was.
Oh, the butter machine is so good. Matter of fact, I have like popcorn butter in my kitchen right now. It's like
course you
buying like
would.
a big.
Of course you would.
jar.
Why am I not?
You don't like
surprised?
popcorn butter?
Well, I like popcorn. I'm not going to eat popcorn butter out of the.
I put it on everything. I
Oh.
put it on like fries and everything.
I prefer to put. Well, by the way, what do you know? Actually, just quickly because you started a food conversation. You know what I found out about a week ago, and I'm still perplexed by it. It makes me really question the American culture. You guys don't butter your bread when you make a sandwich.
Not usually, no.
You put
some
mayo-
people do,
you
not
put
usually.
mayo
Me
or
a
something on
sandwich,
it.
but we butter our bread.
No, but like when you have a
I
sandwich,
butter if
like,
I'm gonna fry it.
True.
but you don't. But like if you're eating a sandwich, like a ham and cheese
No.
sandwich, you put mayo or something on. You don't put butter.
Nope.
No.
Okay, so
Much
if we're
more.
making a grilled cheese sandwich, yes, we butter our bread. Just saying, because
I
Yeah,
do
but
for
when you're
grilled cheese,
grilling it,
yeah,
not
but
just
not- yeah. Paigey is saying like just in general when we go to make a sandwich, no grilling, no toasting. Do we put butter on it? And the answer is no, we do not.
No, I do not
I
put
think
butter on a peanut butter. and
that
jelly.
surprised the hell out of me because I was like, "What are Americans doing?" Like putting mayo and stuff.
Speaking of buttering your bread, this is the new Zack Snyder animated trailer here.
Yeah, that's definitely not buttering my bread. That's something else.
That's a good segue, Paigey. Let's watch this. If you're watching this on playback, you know the routine. It's probably going to get claimed, but here we go.
I've said
Death
enough.
was close.
Hold on.
much
Can we
I
just
was
pause
sure.
it there?
Oh, geez, we're not even like. All right, here we go.
Am I seeing
11 seconds.
Am I seeing blatant plagiarism of Peter Jackson in the Fellowship of the Ring in that first shot there?
All right, let's go. Let's go. Here we go. Which? Tell me where to pause it when it gets to it.
Death was close.
Here.
Right here. Right here. Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, but this seems pretty standard for like the like Roman like guards. The
I'm
shields,
claiming
spears,
Yeah.
copying. I'm claiming copying.
Are you? So are you saying that Zack
What are you talking
Snyder-
about?
Go ahead, Bob.
I was just gonna say I've always heard Zack Snyder is the source book was. What was that meme that was going around?
What's the thing? He's the
Blueprint for everything.
The blueprint.
Blueprint.
Yeah, Zack
Yeah.
Snyder's a blueprint. It was so dumb.
Yeah.
Superman's in handcuffs. It's a blueprint.
It's the
No.
blueprint. Yep. for
Superman.
Well,
everything.
Superman was in handcuffs in Smallville before Henry Cavill was.
Shut up. Don't throw
here we
bats
go.
out. No.
Of that much I was sure. Then came the woman.
Oh, it's woke.
Woke.
It's immediately the woke agenda for feminism with this woman jumping in to save
They
the
can't
guy.
do that because it contradicts their love for Zack Snyder.
But Zack
Listen.
Snyder has been increasingly woke over time.
Listen, you know you're watching too much Chud content when you hear a woman and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
woke.
No, I'm saying that's exactly what they would be saying if they talk about this.
Yes,
That is
yeah.
going to be their take on it. All right,
That's
anyway, let's-
funny
my
right there.
God.
Then came the woman.
yeah. Well, first of all, that line is awful. Then came the woman. But anyway,
Yeah.
let's go.
Came the woman. Silence fell.
A woman just doing what a
Was
man should be
beautiful.
doing.
Hold on, they're not properly showing her training or explaining why she's so good
Yeah.
at this. I don't understand.
I don't believe this.
I knew that.
Hold on, pause it.
I was.
It's anti-woke because there's a redhead woman there. Wouldn't that usually be
Oh,
a
that's so it
diverse
countered right. Right, so
character?
that counters it. Like the redhead
that counters it. So
representation.
now we're
Yeah.
neutral. They went woke with the feminism, but they've neutralized it with it not replacing a redhead with a
Right.
diverse hire.
That's
Okay,
just-
so-
yeah, gender representation.
So the stars have aligned, and she's like, "You know nothing, Jon Snow." That's what she said.
Though,
Here in this
hold
scene
on.
here.
Hold on, is she gay? Because then we
We
might
don't-
lean.
Ooh.
But
Hold
then
on.
we have
There's another
to look for the
factor.
counterbalance to that. So whatever that is.
Hold
has
on,
to be a
hold on,
counterbalance. So-
hold on. Then she might be a cab, so we might lean more on.
Okay, well, let's see where she goes
Listen,
with this. Let's see. Yeah.
If we keep going with this, we might find out that just calling things woke is gibberish.
Maybe,
No, that's not
possibly.
right.
That could be the
That's
that could
not
possible.
right.
I was home. I am to be married.
Oh,
Your wedding will anger the gods.
because it's to a woman with facial hair. That's gonna anger the
No.
gods. So, I want to say, what do we think of the animation so far? How are we feeling about the animation?
It looks like that Claus Netflix movie, the Christmas one.
This is just me. It kind of looks like Prince of Egypt animation.
Oh, that's true. It doesn't look as dynamic as I guess I would want
Yeah.
it to be. It feels a little
Like-
flat, but
Yeah, where I'm at right now, it
It's
doesn't
2D.
look bad, but doesn't thrill me either. It's mid, I guess.
yeah. All right.
It's 2D.
It's what? What'd you say? 3
It's
dub?
2D
Oh
because
yeah,
it's flat.
true. Thor.
I am Thor.
Hold on. I literally didn't know that. Like, I was just making it up because it looks like Chris Hemsworth with the cape and everything. So I'm like, Thor is a right. I honestly didn't watch this before we started. It's like, that was a total guess. Okay, he's Thor and he wants blood. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
I am Thor, and I want blood.
Oh God, that
Wait, are you
animation
the
is
god
not
of
good.
again?
This animation is
Yeah.
not good. Look at the animation here with the explosion of the body or whatever. This right here alone doesn't look good. Like, I don't know what this is all about. This animation is just not great. Oh God, that was it's just not good.
Thor
Yeah.
butchered my family like cattle. Loki, help me kill him.
Loki?
It's well you acquire a taste for blood. Gather fighters.
I want to be clear here that like Thor and Loki, I mean, they're fair game for anybody as long as they don't look too much like the other copyrighted versions. so-
Also, they're probably doing the Norse god stuff,
oh, 100%.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
which is not
So-
MCU or Marvel or.
Well,
DC.
Philip, the thing is, I think Samurai Jack had a style to it. This feels more like a copy
Yeah.
of somebody else's style. And is it just me or is the voice acting not very good? It also feels like the voice acting sounds like not great. I don't know if it's the
Also
level
Yeah.
or what it is. Something like when I say it doesn't sound good, I don't mean the acting isn't good. I mean just the audio quality doesn't sound good to me.
Yeah, it
also
stood out to me with the Thor line. It sounded wonky.
It kind of feels like a low budget Hercules film. Like
Oh,
the animation too.
I can see that.
Gather fighters.
Seek those with hell in their heart.
It's revenge I need. If I'm to succeed, I need you with me. I'll piss and we can go, yeah?
Oh God, that animation is not good. Look at her mouth and stuff when like I know it's not supposed to be perfect, but watch her face when she's saying these lines.
If I'm to succeed, I need you with me. I'll piss and we can go, yeah?
It's just oh
The maid is mine.
The only thing here for you is death.
Then let it claim me!
Gods killing gods would go unnoticed. But a mortal? That would remake the world.
I fear no God.
no. Okay, so I want to point out it feels to me like Zack Snyder has an obsession with God symbolism and like this concept because
Yeah.
this feels like superhero shit just
Yeah.
plastered on a story about like mythology and
Yeah.
You
when
know,
I was
Well,
the one thing I hate about Batman v Superman is Superman didn't feel like Superman. He felt like a freaking god figure where they
Yes.
worship and pray to him.
I mean, that's the thing throughout the Snyder movies that kind of drove me nuts. It felt like he didn't have a handle on Superman. It felt like he wanted to build Superman to be like this god figure and then push him into injustice. It felt like they were pushing him into, which is just
putting him into
No.
like the Antichrist.
no.
basically.
I mean, he was on trial in his second film. Batman v
Yeah.
Superman. They already had him on trial for what he did, and it's like you didn't even give us a chance to like him, really. Like,
No.
you got us to the point where he's Superman, and then you just dropped the ball and put him on trial.
And listen, I think Injustice is a fun idea for an Elseworld story, but it is not mainline Superman. The idea that Superman just turns evil and starts destroying people just because he loses, like Metropolis. I know it's tragic, but it's like Superman's better than that, at least in my book.
Yeah,
I agree.
Superman is supposed to be a guy you can hug.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
One of the super chats is kind of funny because
This one right here.
I literally thought about Stargirl season 3 where he turns into a burnt toast.
Troy here, $2 super chat and a team member. Can't explain why Snyder is dry toast. It's perfect. 100%. All right, let's get through this trailer. Gosh, this trailer is rough, man. Like, normally I don't
rough.
I don't have like this kind of reaction to stuff, but this one is just not working at all. And it's the same saturated, like, piss yellow shit that he does in all of his titles. It's like Rebel Moon all over again.
Yeah, I was about race.
Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
No, I was just gonna say, I tell you what, this looks better than Rebel Moon 3 would be. That's the only thing I'll give it.
But at what point do they stop giving him money to make movies? I feel like there's just got to be a point where it's like you don't have it anymore. You did 300 and that was it. You shot the load. Now you're out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, look, Darth Zen, I will agree with this. This should have been the live action one because I think this story is more interesting. But the animation is so bad, so bad. And I hate to say that because I love to support animated projects, and we've had such good animation recently, like the Batman Cape Crusader, X-Men '97, Invincible season 2. We've had really good animated stuff recently, so this is just not great. I don't.
Rebel Moon? I thought you meant Rebel Boo.
The answer is yes. If you're making bad movies, people need to stop giving you massive budgets. That is my answer for anybody that's doing this. Like, I get it if they want to crowdfund or they want to do indie films, but when you're giving these people huge budgets and they just keep putting out stuff that doesn't look good, like the thing is, Zack Snyder, it's a track record with him right now. It's a track record because he is in total creative control of this stuff. So he is the sole blame. It's his fault. These are his projects.
I've always had this issue with Zack Snyder. I think you need to have somebody over his head, kind of with a firm control of what's going on. Yeah. I think he can be a talent, but like you have to control it, and just giving him full creative control almost always sucks. In fact, I can't think of a time it worked. I
don't know.
I also kind of feel bad for Bob because every time we're in that scene, hit all the comments just like smacking him in the face.
It's okay. It's all good. We're going to end the poll here and look at the numbers quickly before we do the next topic. Are you excited for Venom 3? It is a pretty close call here. 51% no, 47% yes. That's a pretty close poll, in my opinion. All right, let's see here. What else?
The last poll. Just kidding.
The last poll. Here we go. Let's talk about this. This was I had a window open for this one. Where's the window at? There it is, right there.
Oh, did you hear about Jenna Ortega recalls audition with Cameron Boyce? And
no.
basically, they were going to be in a movie together where she has to kiss him, and she felt uncomfortable that Cameron saw that she was uncomfortable and then stopped the audition. And that movie never been made.
I mean, that's good though. You shouldn't. Like, when it comes to intimacy, you shouldn't be forced to be intimate.
And
I mean,
maybe
you can't do it.
You rest in peace too.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we have the Penguin here. This is James Gunn retweeting this article from Variety, which was very favorable for the Penguin. They seem to be. I read through it. I'm not going to really quote too much, but I will say that they had a lot of positive things to say about the show, particularly the vibe of it, like the setting, the whole aspect of the crime drama part of it, and that it feels like a much different, I guess, not world, but it's got a different vibe than the Batman movie. And it really leans into the whole mobster, gangster storyline and stuff. And then over here, yeah, go ahead.
I think it kind of was I guess dumb decision to tell everyone that you're not gonna have Batman in it.
I think that's going to be a tough sell for people that were hoping to see him.
Yeah.
But I have to give them credit for being transparent, though. Like, if he's
Yeah.
not going to be in
Also,
there, just
I
saying
like
that
the
he's not
fact
going to
that
be
they're
as
being
good.
truthful, but also it's like
Well-
if you want people in there.
Well, you know what really spells that there's probably not too many surprises in this series?
What's that?
The fact that they gave the entire season to reviewers. Like,
Yes. Yeah.
like that's usually a thing like where, okay, nothing major. It's probably just like a quality, like, well, it's well written and stuff. Like, there's not going to be like a cliffhanger, I don't think, because that would 100% be spoiled.
Yeah. So it says here, the Penguin leaves some loose ends and paves the way for future explorations within this universe, setting the stages for Batman 2. And this is from Hollywood Handle. And in this particular review, they're saying that there's a lot of things that the show does that could pay off in like the next film or in the world of Gotham. Because one of the things I have to say in like for the positive of this whole Batman world from Matt Reeves is that this Gotham feels like a real city. Like most of the Gothams we've seen feel like they couldn't be real places. They're just too absurd. This one feels like a real city.
I know you don't like me quoting you, but I remember you saying it feels like West Virginia.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Particularly Charleston, West
I'm
Virginia.
actually kind of intrigued.
Oh, is that
I
where the
don't know-
race riots happened?
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe, possibly.
You're there. You live
I
there.
don't live in West Virginia.
Well,
West
well-
Virginia and Virginia are two different places.
What?
Yeah, but they're the same state, aren't they?
No, they're two different states.
Are you sure? Mate, what's with
Yes.
America, like North and South Dakota? Why are we not just merging those two? Are there like political issues between them or something? Same
Yes,
as
a lot
Virginia
of
and West-
them.
Well, so what's
Virginia
West
and West
Virginia to
Virginia was the
Virginia?
Civil War.
Yes,
Was it?
I was gonna say it's a pretty big deal. Yeah, a pretty big deal.
I'm kind of intrigued about this rumor about the movie the Batman 2 is going to be set in the winter because I'm kind of intrigued. It's from Daniel RPK, so take it with a grain of salt. But
Yeah.
it'll be I think it's kind of interesting to see a Gotham in snow. I think we've seen it in Batman 89,
Sword and Dark Knight Rises with a
and Batman Returns.
fight scenes.
True.
But I think.
Wait, so have you been to Charleston?
Why are we thinking about this now?
Well, now you got it in my
Randomly
head.
cut in.
I'm just curious if you've been there.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of places, but I mean, like, what does that have to do with anything?
I'm just curious. I'm just asking, just an honest question.
I've been through there. You have to. There's a very important highway that goes through West Virginia for you to get to like Tennessee and places like that. So yes, I've been through there.
But I'm
okay,
honestly
no,
hoping
just stop
for,
off.
like,
No,
Okay, not for gas, not for bite to eat.
no, they're
Okay.
toll roads. You have to pay to get on and off the interstate. So no, I did not. Stop
No, I'm just
anywhere
curious.
over
I'm
there.
just curious. Just asking.
but I'm also like kind of wanting Mr. Freeze to be in it if it's set in the winter.
I don't think we're going to get any fantastic
Yeah.
characters like that in the Matt Reeves world.
Matt
unfortunately.
Reeves has said he doesn't want to do anything too fantastical, which
Well,
I
he-
mean, we'll
like,
see what he does. I really
borderline.
like the Batman, so
He said they'll go as far to the edge, but they won't go over that. And I think Mr. Freeze might go over that edge, honestly.
What would be a character that resides in the winter, other than
Penguin.
I mean,
Yeah.
they could be Penguin.
I knew what Pigeon would say. I'm like,
Yeah.
other than penguins.
I will say also that over on Rotten Tomatoes, which I never really use this for anything credibility, but I just want to point out that right now,
Scarecrow?
because critics have 93% for the whole season, which is pretty solid, which means they do like it. So it does seem like the show is set up for success. Now, I don't know what it's going to mean for long term. It might be a one and done series, and I'm not
especially
super
if David
excited for this.
Hasselhoff.
Yeah. Well, and then Colin here says that he never wanted to wear the penguin prosthetics again in this interview from Deadline
Ooh.
because of the process that it goes into to make him look this
And
way.
then they said, Colin, we'll pay you a lot of money. And then he was like,
$1 million. What are you
okay.
doing now?
They pulled a truck outside his house and
Yeah.
dumped
Oh,
out
okay.
cash. Dumped
And
out-
we'll
He said,
and we'll
"Okay."
pretty much and we'll cast you in a big Warner Brothers movie as well in like the next couple of years.
Is this character big enough to pull in numbers for a TV show? What do we think? I mean, just based on word of mouth.
I would say his performance
I
in
don't
the
know.
Batman was really good.
It was good,
Yeah.
but is it enough to hold a show though?
It'll be like probably like an above average HBO show. Like I don't know if it like I was gonna say maybe around like the White Lotus, but then again, the White Lotus was like,
I love that show though.
yeah, like a lot of people got on board with the show. So
White Lotus was
Pennyworth
really
brings to-
solid.
Pennyworth brings to mind, like, he's a well-known character that I after the first season it kind of fell off the.
Well,
yeah,
because
Pennyworth was on like bum chum like network that he needed a subscription or something like
Stars?
that. Where like
I
three
think.
people. It wasn't even Stars. It wasn't like some other thing. It wasn't like a network or something. Like it was like a random ass network.
I don't remember, but I also don't.
DC tried their own network, and that was a terrible idea.
Yeah, I personally don't know if that show can carry an audience. If the Ping was going to be able to carry an audience, even if it's the best show ever.
Epics. That's what it was. Epics.
Yeah. It was Epics.
Yeah, you asked that, and I was like, I genuinely don't know. It's a dice roll. Maybe if it gets good enough word of mouth and builds up, maybe.
I think people will be disappointed if Batman doesn't show up, though. They'll be like, I watched fucking
Is
8
it
episodes.
so? Is it a week-to-week release or is it a dump all at one time?
It's HBO, so I'd assume it's week to week, one episode per week.
All right.
Yeah, I think they're doing 2 episodes for the premiere, and then the rest will be week to week.
Lone Wolf says he watched a few reviews and some said Colin could get an Emmy nom. That's
a wait and see. Like some shows don't get favored, but then again, they'll probably if they lean to like the Sopranos feel with this, and also it's got HBO, which HBO gets like biased towards, and then probably will at least it'll get the attention.
So we're coming up at the 2-hour mark, so we're going to dive into the last big subjects, and we're going to skip over some of the smaller ones. We'll talk about those on another stream, but I do want to talk about this here, which is that the news we covered previously about Josh Brolin playing Hal Jordan in the Lantern. So
look, I don't want to get you demonetized, but we might be
Yeah.
flashing back to COVID, and I might have to crack out Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah because we dodged a bullet.
Yeah. So both, but Matthew McConaughey also apparently passed up.
Well, apparently that he wasn't even in it. Like someone just pulled a name out of their ass and went with it.
You don't think that he was ever actually up for?
Well, by
role?
the sounds of it, it sounds like he wasn't even like in the mix. Like he wasn't even in the conversation.
So,
go
ahead.
I'm actually glad he's not in him or Matthew McConaughey. I'm very glad they're not going to be Hal Jordan because I get that Hal Jordan could be serious, but I don't want him to be serious.
Yeah.
Well,
I think Matthew McConaughey could easily play like.
Yeah, he
like,
could play a
cocky.
dick, but at the same time,
Well, it's not a dick. It's like cocky. Like Matthew McConaughey in general is a bit like cocky in regards to his just general demeanor. So it's more like whether you go for the Southern Texan aspect of you want to do that with Hal Jordan, which Hal Jordan like what? Like what's Coast City like Seattle essentially? Like that's,
yeah, it would be like the Northwest. Yeah.
So essentially, like he should have like pink hair and like earrings or something. Going Seattle.
It'll be funny if Green Lantern is actually in his city in Texas, like a made-up city in Texas.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
That would explain his accent.
Bob, what did you think about this rumor casting? Do you like Josh Brolin? Because we never had a chance to really talk about this, but
it's weird. I do like Josh Brolin. I like him a lot. I don't know what I think of him as Hal Jordan because I don't, as much as I think he does lots of good roles. Number one, I think he's probably too old for it at this point. Not to judge him, but then I don't know if he could quite do the humor.
Well, since he's a DC,
he could be
the
a
DC was looking. Yeah, what now? What are you
he could be a well-seasoned Green Lantern. Meaning like he could be aged.
Yeah.
Eric doesn't like seasoning. He likes his food nice and bland.
No seasoning over here. DC Studios is looking for a young, fresh-faced actor for the role of Jon Stewart to play opposite an older and stoic Hal Jordan. That's what they're going for with Hal Jordan, apparently. So,
I still think my favorite pick is actually Chris Pine. I still think he would be a perfect one.
Right now, the 3 people left in the running, I believe, is I had this here in front of me: Chris Pine, Timothy Olyphant, and who was the other one?
Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor. That's the other one they were thinking about. Yeah.
Who's
Obi-Wan?
Okay.
Yes.
I do find it interesting.
I call him Ewan McGregor, but that's just me.
I do find it interesting because it seems familiar. Back when they were doing the DCEU, they gave Chris Pine the choice of whether or not he wanted to do Green Lantern or Steve Trevor, and he went with Steve Trevor.
Yeah.
And since that never panned out, now he's getting another shot at it. It seems like.
And he was also about to be cast as Barry Allen in the early 2010s, alongside Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern.
You're also same as Barry Allen too.
But Paige, you're saying overall this is like a dodge bullet situation?
Oh yeah, I just like I like Josh Brolin as an actor and stuff, but he just doesn't suit the character at all. I don't think Ewan McGregor does either. I think Chris Pine and Timothy. I just like the idea of Timothy Olyphant being there. I just think it's the most interesting choice there. Like Chris Pine has been a fan cast for ages, so that's the thing that goes in his favor. But I know Timothy Olyphant I like Timothy Olyphant a lot.
Bulk the heck up to be Green Lantern.
I always thought Nathan Fillion was the fan cast, but
Nathan Fillion was Green Lantern, so you know.
a couple times.
And
yeah.
he is Guy. He's Guy Gardner. So
True.
That's that looks awful. It looks awful to me. I'm not into that at all. Let's see. One more topic here that I had. I'm trying to scroll to find. I think they deleted it. A lot of times with these scoop things, they just go away. Oh, here it goes. This is the last one. This is a good, nice, good, edgy topic for us to roll out on.
Like toast. You like your edges cut off.
Edgy.
This is again from maybe it's true, maybe it's not sources. The original 6 MCU characters will be recast.
My favorite source. Update_Marvel.
Right.
Yeah,
but it says here
this one always has facts.
Yes,
double
so
checks their
says,
sources.
And
you know what I like the most? The blurry ass photo. Like the blurry ass photo with like.
That's how you know they know what they're talking
What
about.
They put so much effort in telling us lies.
They got a 360 by 240 image of Google and then stretched it out on Photoshop.
Yeah, it says the original 6 MCU characters will be recast after Avengers Secret War. Well, by the way, I want to say this is a lot of people's theory. A lot of people believe this is going to happen. New and younger actors will play a new group of Avengers in a world full of mutants. One installment per character is planned again, followed by a new Avengers installment. The reason why I'm bringing this up is not because I necessarily believe that this is a real bit of news, but it's more about the question of whether or not we want to see this happen. Would we want to see a rehash of the stories on characters that we've already seen, or do you want to see them continue chronologically with the world that they built?
For me, I think it's just, I don't think if they do a recast, don't go to what the DC did and just pull a story and then retell it. They did with it felt like for instance, Aquaman felt like Aquaman the Lost Kingdom. Because it had the same similar story of his brother turning on him and all that.
Oh, you mean that Aquaman and Aquaman the Lost Kingdom felt like similar stories?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just hope they don't do that like they recast Iron Man, for example, and then pull a story of Iron Man 2008 and retell it.
I want to bring up this message here. What's up, Dave? I see you in the chat. Thought you were live tonight. Guess not. Or maybe you're done. Lone Wolf here says, you forgot to mention the rumor of Secret Wars will end the multiverse saga. Well, here, technically, if it does follow the story of Secret Wars, it will end up the multiverse saga because what happens is Battleworld consolidates into a new Earth. And there's a new multiverse that springs from that, but it consolidates the previous multiverse, if that makes any sense. So... that's what I think they might do, but they could still do the multiverse. It'll just be a new one.
I also
based
find
off
it
of that.
hilarious that how people are like the multiverse, they're tired of the multiverse movies. I'm like, it's the multiverse saga. Get used to it. It's like the Infinity Saga. There's going to be stones. Get used to it. The
Everybody
Mutant
says
Saga.
they're sick.
Guess what? Mutants.
Everybody says they're sick of it, but all the multiverse movies, almost without fail, make like $1 billion.
Yeah. BTM says, just finished. I wanted to watch something smart. Well, thank you for being here. I don't know if we can live up to that, but we'll try.
Well, I was going to say Eric was claiming that Charleston was in Virginia and not West Virginia before, so that might have
Yes,
been.
of course. No, you don't gaslight me.
I also think it would be speaking of what Lone Wolf says about not a full reboot but a soft reboot. I think it will be a smart move to basically do a different. I think there's multiple Avengers teams with different lineups, right?
Yeah,
Well,
there's been over the years.
I mean, well, by the way,
New
I don't know
Avengers.
about you, Eric, but are you under the assumption that Thunderbolts has the asterisk because it's going to be Dark Avengers by the end of it?
Maybe because it's not really the Thunderbolts. It's
But
honestly
it's
not
got a
even
lot
really
of,
the Dark Avengers, but
but it probably leans more towards Dark Avengers.
it's probably
based
going to
off
be
the-
Thunderbolts and then in subtitle the Dark Avengers. Most
Whatever
likely.
they do, if they do Avengers versus X-Men, it has to follow the freaking comic. I'm not pulling any punches on that one.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Soft reboot, maybe, but not what we would really consider a reboot because it's going to have characters from that previous world.
They'll keep
to it.
Thor. Thor will be there. Spider-Man will be there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it will be
What
a
else?
great. I think it will be a great idea
Doctor
to call
Strange.
the Avengers soft reboot the New Avengers. That would be
Well, here's the thing: is this takes me down the rabbit hole of like, I don't think people are prepared with Thunderbolts. Which, by the way, I thought about this last night. I think my most anticipated movie from the MCU now is Thunderbolts. And the reason why is because I believe we're going to get something we've never seen before with Sentry. Because Sentry as a character in the comics is like, I guess surface level is a Superman character, but so completely different from Superman in every other instance, right? And the Thunderbolts, regardless of how powerful they are, I don't think they're fully prepared to deal with someone at the power level of the Sentry, which is why I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. If you've read any of the Sentry stories in the comics, you will know when the Sentry turns into quote unquote dark Superman void mode, it's like, it's bad. So I think that's what we're going to see with the Thunderbolts is them dealing with that. And for me, that seems really interesting because
That
I don't
does
think we've had
sound cool.
because we haven't really had a Superman allegory in the MCU. The closest thing we had was Thor, which is not anything like Superman, but it fills that void of what Superman would have been in those MCU movies. And Icarus was completely fucked over in the Eternals, so we never got really that Superman story. So yeah, I'm really excited for that.
One of the things I'm thinking, like, if they're not going to pull like Hercules out from the mothballs of Thor Ragnarok, I think it will be a great idea just to have a small short like they do to cover up like stories that they are going to tell, and just have like Thor walking on the street and Hercules comes to fight him and he gets pummeled like within seconds.
Okay, so
remember when Marvel did shorts? Those were awesome. Remember?
Yeah, they were awesome. I was going to say shout out to BTM Reviews for the $20 super chat. Thank you so much for showing the support and for enjoying the show.
You did what?
We talked about I hope that we live up to being a smart conversation. So that was so I do appreciate the $20 shout out. I need to get some like little clips here. I do have some random branding on my other tab, but I'd have to switch that. But I need to get some random clips here to fill in the gap on that. So,
I got a list. Yeah, we got obviously you. I would say you Millie rocking. That was the
the chalky.
That wasn't Millie rocking.
Should I do a reenactment
gritty.
of the chalky?
No,
should I do
no, don't.
No
one wants to see your crotch at this time, Eric. We need you with the gritty, the one where we saw your ass crack. The one where you. Oh, what was the other one? There's probably some other ones. You could probably just the photo of your pizza with the
so where I'm holding the pizza up. Yeah. So somebody who's watching this, go back and I'm not going to give you anything for this. I'm a shout out, but go back and like find all the clips of the stuff you want me to add in as like super.
I want that car scene where you're rapping freestyle. That was epic.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Well, I want the one where he flips the car, but he deleted the footage because that was even funnier.
It was funny.
Zaya has asked this twice, but who's your favorite Spider-Man actor?
I mean, I've answered this a million times, Zaya, and I don't mind answering again, but I love Andrew Garfield. He's my favorite Spider-Man actor. But
my favorite is Tom Holland because he's like the best of both worlds, and Tobey Maguire was the best of Peter, and Andrew Garfield was the best of Spider-Man.
I'll just even it out and say my favorite's Toby.
Well, see, there we go. Well, unless Paigey picked somebody. Who did you like better? He's going to say somebody random. Watch.
I'm going to say Drake Bell.
Oh, okay. Drake Bell.
Well, he was Spider-Man, so you got him.
Lone Wolf says, "You think we will ever get a live?"
Oh no, I'll pick
Yeah.
Jack Black for the MTV movie ones where he like jizzes the web.
Oh
And the-
God, I do
and
remember
the-
that too.
And the reason, like the fact that Stanley himself says when he imagined Peter Parker and Spider-Man, he thought of Tom Holland. So
Lone Wolf, the $2 super chat here says, "You ever think we'll get a live action Hope Summers?" I think we have a lot to get through before we ever see Hope. We need to just hope they give us a solid X-Men first before we start thinking about Hope Summers. Because
Maybe we can get a good live action Cyclops for once.
I mean, we got a good animated one in X-Men '97.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get something like that in live action. But yeah, no, I hope that we explore. The good thing about introducing the X-Men is there's so many possible stories that they can
What's
tell.
Hope Summer
So
again?
many of them.
I
Hope
get
Summers
that-
is one of the possible children of the Summers family.
Yeah, I get that it's Cyclops.
There's
but
a lot
I
of them. There's a lot of them. Like you'd have to go and look it up. There's
What's
so
her
many.
hero
so-
name? Hope.
I've only ever seen her as Hope unless they've given her like I know that they
Virtue.
had the whole thing. So no,
Just
definitely
kidding.
not Virtue.
Just kidding.
Spooky Kitty says, "Dude, the Phantom Menace killed Star Wars fan base, and I'm kind of ready for war here." There's so much drama around the whole Star Wars fan base right now, and we talked about it a little bit. I do so many streams now, I don't even remember. I guess I was talking to Dane maybe last night, maybe the night before. I can't remember, but there seems to be some legal shit being done about this, so I'm not going to get involved with any of the stuff with Star Wars Explained and Star Wars Theory.
Spooky
I
Kitty,
will
did
say
you
it's
word Phantom
bullshit,
Menace
so-
just to be like a nod to Phantom Menace?
3Dub, you are so completely out of the loop. The Fandom Menace is that community that always talks shit about Star Wars. It's like always
Everything's woke. That's fandom.
Yeah,
Oh, that
that's
guy,
the Phantom
okay.
Menace. Yeah. But that whole community and all the fighting going on with that seems like it's going in a really
I don't watch
big legal
negativity,
direction, so I know. I wish I could.
It's good for your
see
health.
those- yeah, stay away from it. I can't.
I'm like
Cody
I like positivity.
says, "Crazy to think the final 9 after party episodes are coming. Are we not counting the end of the season after party after the show is aired?" So, Bob, you don't know the whole after party lore. So the after party was the main podcast that I did for a really long time, and it was basically for DC television shows. That's what we covered, like all the DC TV shows. But as you know, there's really none
not a
left
lot
anymore.
left. Yeah.
So we're going to be covering Superman and Lois, and it will be the official last episodes of that podcast, which I do this now in place of that. And there's a weekly geekly thing, but I still that is the podcast that I never seem to make it work. It's like it comes back and goes away. Anyway, but yeah, so that's coming soon. It is kind of crazy, but don't worry, we're still going to be around doing stuff. I think that's it. We done with all the super chats? I think we are done with all the super chats. So
Yes, no. Well, someone wants you to address the Nikocado avocado thing.
Oh yeah, remove that. So is anybody else familiar with that, or am I talking about something that no one else knows?
Yeah, I don't know that either. But you can refresh my memory. Oh well. Teach me.
I could probably explain it in a very quick amount of time. So Nikocado Avocado was a food tuber who years ago was known for eating, I think, weird stuff back in the day.
Oh, is it the one that lost a lot of weight?
Yes, so you're caught up already. But he basically was known for eating a lot of weird stuff, and then he started doing mukbangs on YouTube and ASMR stuff, and then that spiraled into force feeding OnlyFans stuff, and like
No, it was like essentially he did mukbangs all along, and then like I think he did it where like he had broken his veganism or something to do McDonald's or something, and he got the most views he'd ever gotten or something on a video, and they just kept doing McDonald's. But then there was other channels that were turning into like glutton channels where they would just
basically people would
absorb an
super
amount
chat
of
them
food.
to eat food, basically. So
Yeah. So
they
he
would
just
sit
tried
around-
to one up it.
Yeah.
Constantly.
So basically, you would order, $100 worth of fast food, and then your people would super chat you to eat certain things, and you would just eat it all on camera or whatever.
That's so weird.
Well, it's also very unhealthy, but he was doing that, and then he gained a bunch of weight, and then at a certain point, he recorded like 9 months worth of video uploads that made him look like he was making content. And during that 9 months, he quickly dropped all of the weight that he had and went back down to where he was before he started doing all of the force eating stuff. And first of all of it is unhealthy. You shouldn't be doing that just because.
It's incredibly bad for like your inner organs, like your pancreas and I think your liver as well, to be doing that.
Yeah, it's just not good. And so for me, seeing that, I was like, okay, I understand that he was doing a social experiment, but at a certain point, you don't fuck with your health for a social
I don't
experiment.
think it was a social experiment. I think it was maybe like banking up the videos, but I think the initial road to him getting to the stadium was just
we don't know, Fatman, because like a week from now he could be like, oh, joke's on you, all of that was pre-recorded and I gained all the weight back again. Like we don't know anymore because of how he did it. You know what I mean? Wouldn't it be it wouldn't be funny because it's unhealthy, but wouldn't it be crazy if he came back like in a week from now and says, I recorded all of my weight loss videos 6 months ago and now I've gained all the weight back again and I've been playing like 10D chess against everybody. Like
and nobody understands why.
I don't know. People will do anything for money on social media. That's what makes it so insidious. It's really disgusting. Like overall.
The only question I have for it, and I saw it brought up on Twitter, was if the weight gain and the weight loss was such a epic plan, what was with the OnlyFans where he was like showing his butthole and
yeah. So yeah, there was like I said, it went down a like I understand that he wanted to do like the social experiment angle, but you didn't have to do the like OnlyFans X-rated content as well. Like that was like
fetish. It was like fetish stuff.
But see, that's why I don't totally believe that it was like a social experiment. I think there was something else going on and possibly like some unhealthy mental health stuff. I don't know. Maybe possibly. It's really weird. So you laugh entirely too much about this stuff. I'm telling you right now.
I just think it's just like how like far people go on
it's
the
the
internet.
weird world that we live in that we can even talk. Like, think about explaining that story to somebody that isn't part of YouTube. Imagine trying to explain that story to somebody who doesn't know how the social media world works. You'd be like, well, yeah, there was this guy, right? And he used to eat food on YouTube for a living. And then he would order fast food and people would give him money to eat the food. And then he ate it until he got really, really big. And then he tricked everybody into thinking he was really big so he could lose all that weight again. And while that was going on, he had an adult content site where he was showing his butthole on like, just think about that. Think about the explanation of that. It's just, it's too much.
See, this is why we need you to be the new age Keemstar, Eric. You've already got the look. Keemstar's sort of retired from the internet, I think.
Not totally.
I think you should step into that. I think you could have made bank off a Nikocado avocado situation.
To sidetrack from avocados, what is your opinion on the entire staff of Anna Puma Interactive has resigned their entire staff?
What the fuck?
Where are you reading that from?
It's the game. It's the game thing that did the Stray.
Who said it?
Bloomberg.com news articles.
I don't even know what this is.
You're on Twitter or something.
It's a game. It's a game company.
Yes, I heard about the Stray game about the cat where you play the cat, right?
But I played that game. It was good for the first 5 minutes.
The entire staff of that company resigned their position and quit.
Yeah, but what's the context of why they did it?
Let me look at the source.
That's a random like 3W. Why did you even like?
I'm just like it's been popping up everywhere.
Okay,
I think 3W might have looked up avocado butthole and
what the
fuck?
Wow.
No, I didn't.
That might be why. That's the only reason I can think.
While you're looking that up, while you're looking that up,
while you're erasing your browser history,
the PS5 Pro thing is so fucking weird.
Mate, it costs $1,200 Australian. That is ridiculous.
But didn't you say it's going to have 3 lines on the side?
Oh god. And it's going to have one game which actually uses
It's so weird to me that you charge the digital edition separately because the disc drive is a separate unit that you have to connect to the digital edition in order to play disc games.
They've got to make it, if they're going to start removing disc drives from the base console, the digital games have to be cheaper. They have to be cheaper.
That's the only way that works. That's the only way that works.
They won't do
what is the
it
incentive otherwise? What is the incentive otherwise to buy the disc drive at that point?
Well, play Blu-rays or a 4K DVD if you got.
Maybe
that's it.
Maybe.
But I'm sorry, like if you're spending $1,200 on that, you probably got your own Blu-ray player at that point. Or 4K.
And you have to pay for the stand, Jasmine. Oh my god. Okay.
What?
Yeah, that's
Oh my god, is Sony struggling on something? That's ridiculous.
okay. So
I felt like,
yeah. Go ahead, Bob.
I was gonna say I felt like they were finally getting a handle of the PS5 because that launch was a wreck, and it just seems like, oh, we got a handle on it. Let's wreck it some more.
This is crazy. The entire staff of Annapurna Interactive, the video game publishing division of Megan Ellison's Annapurna Studio, resigned this month following a dispute with its owner. Annapurna Interactive president Nathan Gary and his team have been negotiating with Ellison, the daughter of billionaire Larry Ellison, to spin off the video game division as an independent entity. When Ellison pulled out of negotiations, Gary and the other executives resigned and were followed around by 24 other staffers. So,
all 25 members, Team Cluck resigned too.
It sounds to me like they didn't want this owner to be overseeing what they're doing as a gaming company, and they couldn't do that because it was connected legally. So now what are they going to do? Hire a bunch of new people to come in and continue what they were working on? I mean, doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, look, Anthony said, I've never heard of this ever happening in the video game industry. It's probably because it's a very unique situation where that company was owned specifically by this billionaire and he didn't want to let it go, I guess. But the reality is that whole team that left, now they can go on and create another studio and hopefully get enough money to start up their own thing. Anyway, with that being said, we're getting out of here. I want to thank everybody for hanging out. The West Virginian DJ himself, who doesn't even understand that West Virginia and Virginia are two different places.
West Virginia.
We had 3
Where
Dub
he was born and raised.
Yeah, 3 Dub.
You live near Damn Neck?
What?
I looked up Virginia Beach and there was a place called Damn Neck. I'm like, oh, does Eric know Damn Neck?
Yes,
we
I
have
know where that
super
is.
chat before we go.
Yeah, I get it. So I'll do it.
Just
But I
curious.
also want to thank Bob for joining Organized Chaos. Head over and check out his channel. We do a
Thank you.
podcast each week with the Showcast, and Bob streams at least a couple times a week. So go over and
Once, well, I have my podcast, so I guess 2 to 3 times a week, depending on the week.
yeah, you're quite busy over there. Cody with the $2 super chat. It's only 700 because there's no upgraded Series X. So they're basically saying, well, how do we know that though? How do we know they're not going to like come out next week and be like, oh, by the way, here's an upgraded Series X now with no disk drive? We don't know that. They could do that, but they're banking on it not happening. So
Are they calling it Series Y?
No, he's talking about like Microsoft and the Xbox.
Yeah, no, like Xbox. If like they're upgrading it, it can't be Series X upgrade. It's got to be Series X.
Oh yeah, so you think it has to be another letter?
Yeah.
Series A, Series B,
Series Z, and then we're going to move on to the start the alphabet again.
Quickly here, Cameron says, you see games going to the Cast of Creature Commanders going to New York Comic Con in October. I didn't see that, but I will, if it happens, we'll cover it here on the podcast and talk about it. There's a lot of other topics, but I just don't have a lot of time left. We've already been on for over 2 hours and Pagey's making fart noises, so it's time for us to go. But I will be live again on Monday night, and anything that we didn't talk about tonight, we'll talk about on Monday, and any other news that comes out, because it's been a crazy week. But thanks everybody for being here, and we'll see everybody in the next stream.